Good evening, everyone, and welcome back. Finally, apologies for the delay, to this, the 16th episode of Blood on the Thames, a Vampire the Masquerade Chronicle set in London, England. With me tonight,
Carlos playing Moses of Clan Nosferatu.
Peter playing Benjamin of Clan Malkavian.
Rachel playing Katia of Clan Tremere.
Philip playing Jim Roy Woods of Clan Gangrel.
Okay, well, we will leap straight into any announcements that we have.
Okay, so the main announcement to say is a big thank you to Luthient, who has become a subscriber to the channel. And on the topic of subscriptions, we do have a special announcement from Plucky Jake.
Right. Because you assholes are making me do this. If you are a subscriber to Twitch, and yes, I fucking know about Twitch. If you are a subscriber to Twitch, we've got a brand new emote featuring yours truly with the face palm, which these fuckers keep making me do. So, go nuts. In fact, litter the chat with them. It makes it look better.
Oh god, there it is. Oh shit. Okay, so let's jump straight back in. It's been a while, guys. Apologies again about that, but we'll jump straight back into an episode 15 recap, and then we'll get things going for episode 16.
Alright. So, the coterie has gone to visit the constable at the St. Mary Laveau church.
Yeah, Moses delivers a report that he had been preparing for her regarding the Sabat issue, and then he has somewhat of a religious experience with Constable Jacqueline, in which he ends up being branded / burned / hurt.
So while after that's happened, Benjamin goes to see Edmund to deliver the picture of the Sabat that has been taken. There are a number of kind of problems that he encounters along the way, not least of which is the artist that he thought he got rid of has now been taken under Edmund's wing, and she is there enjoying his time, which sours the mood considerably.
Meanwhile, the rest of the coterie go to hunt. Jim manages to have a successful feed, but Moses becomes entirely ravenous and, with no willpower left, proceeds to drain a poor young lady dry.
When we get back, Katia effectively roasts Jim for his misdemeanors, and Jim tries not to kill her, and he doesn't, so you could say in the end it was a successful evening for Jim.
Not so much so for Moses. He ends up in Alice's house. She's being beaten and bruised by Deacon Rhodes. He stays the night with her after having a chat with her, and he feels remorse for the death of that human he drained, Catherine. And he cries himself to sleep.
So, on that sad note is where we left it, and is where we'll come back into it, with everybody having fallen asleep in their respective safe havens, some in sharing their havens with others. You all begin to reanimate on the evening of Saturday the 9th June 2001. First of all, your sense of taste returns, and then your sense of hearing, and then slowly your limbs begin to animate, and then your eyes open, or rather just begin seeing and animating and noticing these items around you that are familiar and safe and remind you where you are. Less so with Moses. Although you feel safe, there's a moment of paranoia when you glance around you and you don't recognize where you are, and then it slowly returns to you where you are, why you're there, and as those details begin ticking in, there's the tightening of the guts as you recall the moment in the park. But you can hear movement off to your side, and Alice is sat up. She's sat by the window, which is no longer coated in these heavy drapes. She's pulled them aside and tied them, and rather she's staring out as though she's watching and surveying. You can see now, again, silhouetted against the window, that she is still battered and broken and bruised. Although her arm is no longer twisted at an odd angle, she has fixed it. But she is otherwise very much alive, alert, alive. And she glances back around you when she hears the creak of the sofa that you're lying on. And she just glances at you. She says nothing.
Morning. Evening. The dryad probably have dry blood.
Yeah, there's red streaks from the previous night, and there's streaks all over the sofa, but then again it's still coated from whatever splatterings of blood she had from the previous night. Can't tell whether or not it's hers or not, but she's, it's none worse for wear for the trickling of blood from your tears. She considers you for a while, and then gets up and moves over towards you, and then chucks you her helmet for the bike.
Okay.
Where are you parked?
Downstairs.
Right. Do you have anything important to do now, or are you free?
I'm free. I would like to clean this up a little bit.
And you realise then it's the first time you've properly shown it. You might have shown it in passing, but it's the first time she actually sees it. And the moment she does, her expression kind of twists in realisation of just how fucking bad the mark is. It's not just an indent. It's
it's a mark. It's a proper.
If you had 4th-degree burns, this would be one of them.
Yeah, and it's just not only that, but around. Where the
from when the chain had gone around, and she grows over, grabs you by the forearm, and just pulls it in, and just starts looking at it, and then she glances up at you again, and then just slowly releases it. Okay.
Show her my rosary, with the cross and everything.
What the fuck, Moses?
You're not gonna believe this.
What?
I was holding my rosary in church with Constable Jacqueline. When I was giving her the report of the Sabat, she held
in a church.
Well, yeah, no one goes.
That bitch can step in a church.
I can step in a church.
No, I'm being sarcastic, Moses. Go on.
No. She held my hand
and did that.
Yeah.
Just.
And it didn't look like any booga booga that the tree mirrored would do. I'm telling you, she is. Don't laugh at me. But she's holy, saintly. Even though she's a cold, I've seen her kill, and she's super cold and detached. But she has this faith, this devotion, goes beyond what I've seen.
What? Because she burnt that into your palm?
No. I got that impression way before that. The way she prays. I mean, I've only seen my mother pray like that a couple of times. It had meaning to her. It had purpose, a drive. It's surreal. And I start looking around her place for gloves or mittens or something.
I mean, there are gloves. They're not going to fit you. She is a much smaller individual than you.
If I find one, it'll fit. I'll
you
wear
can force it on. It's not going to be wearable again, but you can make it. You can put it on.
Yeah, it's okay, cool.
Yeah, you managed to put on a biking glove that she has. Yeah, kind of like that, but when you're done with it, the fingers,
Yeah. Better.
Right. Okay, so you wanted to see Deacon.
Yes, I think I need to tell him about what we were doing. Well, not what we're doing, what we saw.
Are you sure? Because last I recall, you didn't leave on the best of terms with Deacon.
Last time...
You, as the group.
Oh, yeah. This is... I want nothing in return, literally. When I was in the States, remember when Sebastian took us to San Francisco?
Yeah.
Because he had to sort some issue with the prince or whatever. The rumors the Nosferatu were telling about stories with other Sabat when they come in. If you're not Sabat, you're the enemy. They won't care if Deacon is Camarilla or Anarch. I mean, trust me on this one. Like, the rumors on, like, Daedalus and the other Nosferatu there, they were safe because no Sabat was coming their way, but they knew of other cities that were contested. So, if the guys who killed Foggy are actually Sabat, I want you hang around with them. I want you to be safe, but I also want them to be on the lookout, because it's gonna get nasty. And again, don't laugh. I feel like I owe it to Tyler.
You do fucking owe it to Tyler. All of you do.
Well, you know that I tried my best.
If you want to go to him, I can take him. I can take you, but I can't promise he's going to listen to what you got to say.
I'm just gonna say it. Whether he believes me or not, it's his business. I just don't want to be seen. I don't want word of this reaching Plucky Jakes here.
Okay, why?
Because I already talked to him and he told me to tell the constable, and that's it. You're not supposed to know, but I think he figures.
Okay, well, I mean,
I assume he doesn't want any, like, widespread panic or chaos.
there's value in information. That's probably more what he's looking at. I mean, if you tell Deacon, Deacon's going to tell the Anarchs. He's not going to keep it quiet, not if he believes you.
Well, the only thing I know for a fact, because I heard Plucky say it, that this is the kind of information you don't try to leverage.
No, it's not.
On.
Okay, right. Well,
do you think I could persuade him to, instead of going to the Anarchs in full, to just for him to tell a group of Anarchs that can go and check? It's better instead of having everybody riled up.
I've stopped speaking for Deacon now. I mean, you can ask him. That's about the best I can say. You can ask, Moses.
I will.
He'll either do it or he won't. She pulls open the door.
Yeah, let's go.
And walks out after you, and you just there as the door shuts behind you. Meanwhile, back at the Crosstowns, 3 vampires are slowly waking up. First one, then the other 2. Slowly. What are you doing?
Making a rouse check?
Rouse check?
Yeah.
Ready?
Let's find out what kind of evening this is going to be. Yay! Good one!
Hunger Zero!
No?
Nope, final 3.
Oh, Hunger Zero!
2.
Look how pretty it looks.
Yeah, so it goes 0, 1. Oh, you saw the count.
Broken.
Would you rather the other way around?
No.
No.
No, it's all good.
Let's see how long can I keep this Hunger Zero stuff.
Okay, so as you begin awakening, there is movement downstairs that you two can hear. The movement of the few people that do stay at the Crosstowns, which is substantially more than when you originally moved here and took over. Moving about, coming in and out. Mrs. Morovsky down there speaking to them as they go out. You can hear her voice distinct over the others. What do you want to do?
Jim's going to move towards Benjamin.
Okay.
Hello?
You ready, Ben?
Oh, yes, I just need to grab one thing and then I'll be there.
Alright.
So, I'm going to be thinking about getting a copy of the photo, because I don't want to go direct to deliver it.
Okay.
And the other thing is I will pack a few things, just thinking about the evening ahead.
Okay.
Not really thinking about it, but kind of mulling a little bit. I'll probably be a bit longer than Jim wants me to be, because I'm not, I'm kind of mulling over last night, but then I'll come out. Oh, now I say I'm ready, but I don't actually know what we're doing. Do I need anything specific for this?
You won't need anything specific.
And it's completely not dangerous. We did establish that, didn't we?
Well, as long as there's no one hunting us, we should be fine.
Right, good. Okay, then I'm all yours. What are we doing?
Your car first.
Oh, right. So, go down to the car, I guess.
Okay. And Katia? You can hear the voices from down the hall from where
Katia's probably gonna go catch up with them, because I don't think you've actually mentioned this to her at all.
So you can hear the voices,
Yeah,
you can hear the knock. You can certainly hear...
You can hear that they're gearing up for something, so
Yeah.
she's gonna tromp downstairs.
Okay.
Okay.
You two heading out?
Yeah.
Apparently, yes. I don't really know why, but I understand it's important in
Has
some
there
way.
been another problem?
Only the ongoing little one, which... another ongoing little one, which... I think to get this more into Benjamin understands this one, I need to show him this.
Right, do you want me to come with you?
If you would like to come along.
I don't have any other appointments today, so I suppose I
can
might
do.
as well.
Right. Well, we'll go to the car then, I suppose.
Okay. To make your way down to your car, it's exactly where you left it and how you left it. Although you do check and note that the wind mirror is still facing away.
I think I'll leave it there.
Okay. So you do your checks, you stop yourself from checking your rear view mirror, and then you slowly pull out. Whereabouts are you headed?
I'm just going to give him the directions to the same graveyard where I've seen Sarah go.
Okay. It's not a very long drive, particularly because the traffic's not terrible. At this hour, almost oddly so. There's not that many cars out, and as you make your way towards the graveyard, there's not much chatter going on in the rear of the vehicle, especially after the conversations from the previous night. But before too long, you're pulling up alongside the graveyard where Jim has directed you to, and it's, I mean, by all accounts, it looks pretty nice, pretty quiet. Not in a kind of, okay, it's spooky, it's dark kind of way, but it's nice at a distance. And he's quite pointedly looking over at it, which is indicating this is exactly where he wants you to go.
I'll say, Jim, have I done something to offend you?
Not at this moment.
Right, I just can't help but notice that we seem to be going to a graveyard.
Don't worry, I'm not in any danger.
All right. So I'll find a place to park.
Okay, there's plenty of spaces.
Yeah.
And as you climb out in the car, you do a quick look around. Have you got heightened senses, or are you left them down?
Depends how busy or if it's noisy.
It's
then,
pretty quiet.
Then
Quite
probably
quiet.
yes. I think he probably has fallen into that default lately.
Okay. You're listening in, and there isn't any distinct sounds. There isn't anyone moving in. You can hear the odd chirp of a late bird now and again, further in, nestled on one of the bushes or on the trees. But otherwise, it is it's almost brittle, the air, but in a way which, for people that don't, breathe or feel the cold that much, it's actually quite, pleasant. But there is nobody moving in. You can't hear any footsteps. You can't hear any breathing.
Well, it seems quiet.
Go ahead, have a look. You'll know you'll know when you see it.
All right. So I'll start going into the graveyard. Are you staying with Jim, or are you coming with me?
I'll probably just kind of stay on the outskirts. I know what this is.
Okay. So I'll go into this graveyard. You said there was no people, so I'll just have a little look around, see what I can see.
I'll be shadowing behind him.
I'm generally concerned that I'm going to come across some horrifically mutilated body or something, right? That's my primary fear.
It says a lot about your coterie that's where your mind first goes, right?
Yeah. So I'm steeling myself for that, I think.
So you go wandering up between these aisles of cold stone, and they're in pretty good condition. As you go along, you see various names from various dates, different causes of death, husband, wives, children's, and then after a moment you kind of glance over towards one of the newer stones and then do a double take, and then you realise etched upon the stone is
Jim Roy Woods, 1976 to 1997. May this guardian rest in peace.
Oh. I'll turn back, because you said you're kind of with me, are you?
I'm a little bit behind you.
Okay. So I'll take that in, and then I'll trot back to where that is.
As he's pausing about that, I'm walking up behind.
Oh, okay, yeah. Goodness. This is the sort of thing you normally see in films, isn't it?
Ebenezer Scrooge.
Well, yes, quite. That's what came to mind. I don't know what one says in these circumstances.
I kneel in front of the gravestone, bow my head.
I'll look at Katia now. This is very strange.
Just Jim things.
This is why I introduced myself to Mr. Morovsky as Roy Andrews. To the kind, Jim is dead.
I see. So this is to remind me to not use the wrong name in front of Mrs. Morovsky.
It's also a little thing. It's going to come out now. Anyway, the question you asked me last night as to who is Sarah.
Oh yes.
She's my sister.
Oh.
She knows this. I'd rather it than have them kept between myself and Katia, but and the reasons that I ensured this grave was here, just try to help protect her.
I see. Yes. Well, I can understand you wanting to protect your sister, of course.
In time, you want to do something like this as well.
Oh.
Unless, of course, you actually do die, in which case it'll be done for you, and then you won't have to live on.
I would suggest that's actually quite a poor idea in Benjamin's case. You have to work very hard to keep up the illusion, and the thing about death is that, well, people will go to great lengths to disprove it, rather than simply being out of town or away for some period.
Well, I mean, but this isn't something I need to worry about for quite a long time, is it?
No,
really?
but it is something you can start potentially thinking on. You have more time than I had.
Well, that's reassuring. So was this? I imagine this was a very complicated thing to organise.
Yes.
Because obviously you can't really be present for any of it. And but I suppose, I mean, I don't want to be callous, but I mean, I'm sure Edmund would help when the time came with that sort of organising side of things.
Totally.
But yeah, so how long, I mean, roughly speaking, do I have before I have to, and I'll gesture to the gravestone.
Well, you're more of a middle age, so you have.
Depends how much your family give a shit, really.
That is true.
Well, they are quite concerned, most of them anyway. I think, I mean, the thing is I've probably got 30, 40, 50 years, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, but you're still going to look like you.
Oh.
Exactly.
Oh, yes. So probably less. Probably more like 5.
Yeah, probably.
5 or 10.
I don't know.
5.
Like, does he have any grey hairs like now? Like, had he started to grey when he was turned?
He's probably got a grey hair or two, I would think.
There's a few.
10 is optimistic.
Alright, so 5. 5. That's fine. I'll worry about that. Let's have a good 6 months to a year without worrying about this. We've got lots of other things to worry about. But thank you. I like to be prepared. I appreciate you giving me notice with this, Jim. Because I don't like rushing into things. And this seems like something that one has to think about a little bit.
Yes, it would have been easier if I had some more time.
Well, the other thing is you don't have major works in galleries.
Yes, you see, this is another thing.
It's a bit. I mean, I know that the value of paintings goes up when the artist dies, but I think that's pushing it a bit.
Yes, I imagine that everyone will want me to be alive to produce work for some time to come. Probably does. I'll stare off into the darkness.
Even as you think that, all you can think of is that retreating car. The silhouette of Edmund. Torturously close to someone that's not you.
I'm sure you have other questions. Maybe both of you. If you have them, ask them now. This is one place where I will not lie.
What are we going to do now?
Sorry, what?
This is one place where I will not lie, Ben. If you have any questions, ask them.
Oh, right. Oh, goodness. That's quite a big thing to ask someone. You said you had to protect your sister, and that she apparently is around somewhere. What sort of danger is she in? I mean, is this something which we need to all worry about or help you with?
She seems to have found me.
I mean, that rather this is very... I'll point at the gravestone again. If she's found you, then this must not have worked somewhere. She must have realised.
I'm aware of that.
Well, so is the threat simply that you don't want her to learn what's happened to you? Or is there anything else? She's not in other danger, is she? Or there aren't other
As long
things?
as she's searching, she risks the Masquerade. As long as she risks the Masquerade, she's in danger.
You know who else is doing that right now? We're speaking very loudly in a public place.
There's no one around. No, I'm quite confident there is no one here but us. There's a bird. Oh no, it's gone.
I'm just gonna look around a bit suspiciously. I do not like talking about this stuff in public.
But you're quite right. We should be more careful, or the prince will have us destroyed, and that would be terrible. So yes, did you? Oh, should we go back to the car?
That's probably a good
Let's
idea.
go back to the car. Right, we'll go back to the car. I'll turn off heightened senses.
Okay.
Therefore, I leave it just one hand on the gravestone.
So as you're pressing your hand against the stone, it feels, cool to the touch as you'd expect it to. And you glance down and there is a single flower that is there, but it looks like it's had the petals pulled off. And it's just lying on its own there. And there's other flowers there that are wilted and that have been there for a while and they've not been removed.
Yeah, just flower there, nothing else?
Nothing else.
Trace the J. Sorry, Jim. Trying to walk away.
She returns to the car. There is no one else around. It's still quiet. By comparison to the average London street, it's very quiet. Most of the cars are going away or alongside where the park is. None are coming up and down the street where you are. You've just got your single, solitary car there lining this street.
So, do you want me to take you back to the crossed hands at this point? Or is there something else that we need to do?
Nothing else more at the moment.
I mean, there is one more matter we need to deal with at some point.
What's that?
The fact that there is somebody feeding in our domain that we have not granted.
Oh, yes.
That's right.
Yes, I remember you saying about that. Yes,
I know it's not necessarily as high on the priority list as some other things that have been happening right now, but I think in terms of what else we have learned recently, it's more of a waiting game to find out what it is we have to do next.
I mean, isn't this the sort of thing that Moses is good at? Because he has all those cameras and things. We should talk to him about this.
Yes, we should probably wait till he gets back.
Bzzzt.
To whom?
Your pocket vibrates. It is a message from Sabine. Simply saying, call when you are free.
Okay. Well, if there's nothing else, we might as well head back. I've got to take a call.
All right. So I'll start drawing them back to the...
I will wait till we're back at the cross hands to call, just in case it's something that discuss in private.
Okay. It doesn't take you too long to return. There's a bit more traffic now going between you and the crossed hands, but not enough to slow your journey back. And then you all begin climbing out of the car one by one. And you step inside, or?
Yeah, I will head up to my room.
Okay. Doesn't take you too long.
Sorry, as she's leaving, there is something a little bit later at some point I'd like to talk to you about.
Of course, I won't be too long.
Okay. Doesn't take you too long to get her on the other side. It rings and buzzes a couple of times, and then there's the picking up of the phone and what sounds like someone pressing something with their, a couple of buttons without meaning to, and then. Hello.
Hello, it's Katia.
Hi, Katia, darling. How are you?
I'm doing all right, thank you. Yourself?
Can't complain. In fact, I've had some rather interesting news come up. When are you free, darling?
This evening I'm relatively
In the imminent future?
Yes, if need be.
Excellent. I'm out for a stroll, close to where we like to meet with our mutual acquaintances. If you happen to be in the area, I wouldn't mind having a bit of a discussion.
Of course. Should I come join you?
Yes, of course. I'll be there. A bit early to take in a show, but I'll be there.
Of course. I will come and join you presently.
Okay, darling. See you imminently.
See you soon.
And I've got the phone.
Unexpected. She'll make sure she's presentable, maybe just smarten up a tiny bit, and we'll back down the attic steps, knock on Benjamin's door.
So just to say, when Katia goes, I would say something very quickly to Jim, which is just say, I'm not very good at this sort of thing, but I do know how important it is to protect family. So if you do need any help with, that business, then, do come and say.
Well, we are of the same coterie, so it's the same with your Kelly.
Yes, although she's fine. Everything's fine there. I think it's fine. Good, right. Well, good luck, and I'll see you a bit later. So I'll go back to my room at that point.
You've not gone into your room for too much longer before you hear the footsteps approaching your door and the...
Yes, come in.
Oh, it's only me, sorry. I'm really sorry, I've been called away, just hopefully not for very long. My family needs to have a quick chat.
All right, of course. Well, I'm probably going to pop out anyway if you're going out. Maybe we could catch up later.
Yes, I'll come. I'll be probably, well, depending on what happens, I would like to come back here. If anything else happens, I will let you know.
Is Moses all right?
I feel like Moses is the kind to let us know if something was going down one way or another. He's quite good like that.
All right.
I don't think there's any reason to panic for a few hours.
Well, I wasn't panicking. Should I be panicking? I wasn't. Was there something happened?
No, nothing's happened.
All right, good. Fine. Good.
See you later.
Bye.
You step downstairs. Mrs. Morovsky gives you a nod and an approving look towards the change in outfit. Meanwhile, where are you headed?
Jim's going to go knock on Moses' door.
Okay.
Musical doors.
Sorry, Moses. I need to know. I'm going to pick the lock.
Okay. Make a dexterity plus larceny check, please.
That's 2 successes.
2 successes. You glance back towards where Mrs. Morovsky is and begin applying the lockpicks. And you fight to try and find the catch, but it's not going.
3.
You can succeed at a cost.
What cost would that
You
be?
activate
break
the
the
trip lines.
You can force it, but you will leave traces that you've been in there.
You'll break it.
Okay. So you begin applying these fine tools into this small lock, listening for the click, and then that impatience begins to grow until finally you just give it a slight smack and the actual picks just bolt in and find the catch, but in such a way where you feel part of your lockpick break off, and the door just leaving you with half a lockpick, but an open doorway.
I feel less bad for the whole smiling man deal now.
So you begin descending down into Moses' basement, and it seems even more devoid of life than it normally is. I mean, when Moses is there, there's a lot of animation there. When Moses is there, either the screens are flickering, Moses himself is quite animate, or, previously there'd be fogging. But now there is nothing. There is no sounds, there is no movement. What do you do?
Jim's going to try to carefully, because he doesn't. But he does not want to fuck up Moses' shit here. All right, with the lock, not with Moses here. He wants to try and pull up the footage of the lobby in past few days.
Okay. So we'll say this is intelligence plus technology. I heard that sigh.
I will. I'll rouse the blood for some time.
Okay.
Wow, those days are great when you can afford to rouse the blood, aren't they?
That's a failure.
You don't have hunger dice in this roll, though. It's for the next one.
Yeah, it's worth noting that your hunger roll happens after the initial check.
Willpower that.
Okay. So you're on 3, yeah?
So that's 2 successes.
Guess what's happening in the chat?
That's such a beautiful, perfect use of that emoji.
I've got a 2.
Okay. This is something that is communally set up and is there for the communal benefit of the coterie. It's not as well locked up as Moses would normally use most of his tech, and it's easy enough for you to get to the basic cameras. Probably not any other cameras that Moses has set up, but the basic ones, the kind of ones that you need easy access to just to survey the immediate scenario, the immediate surroundings. They are currently running live. They're all still workable. They're still showing images of people moving back and forth on the streets outside, cars zooming past, and the one that showed Mrs. Morovsky previously that you all inspected, she's still just sat there, just with a newspaper. It looks up every now and again when she can hear movement from above from any of the people that are, she's assuming it's probably Benjamin, but it's probably not. Could be someone else. You never know. What do you want to do?
Going to go through the logs of the lobby to see who's been in and out sort of since since we went to the tunnels.
Okay.
Just trying to.
So, are you going to try and do this quickly, or are you just going to take your time with it?
Yeah, it's going to take his time.
Okay. It is a long and slow process going through each bit of footage, and there's only so long you can stare at this one room before it gets exceptionally dull. The only person that seems to be moving in there and seems to be there at all is Mrs. Morovsky, and as funny as it is to watch her suddenly become very, very animate, you speed through this footage.
And backwards, you know?
Yeah, as you go back and forth through this image. There are times where you have to kind of remind yourself just to keep watching and just keep going. You're not technically apt like Moses, you can't just sit there and just fly through it. But after a good 20-30 minutes of just staring at the screen, finally you can see Mrs. Morovsky kind of get up and move behind the counter. And the moment she stands there and begins speaking, you slow it and stop, and then just start playing it again. And you can see what looks to be a female figure approaching the desk, has a hood up, and just speaks to Mrs. Morovsky. Obviously there's no sound, you can't pick up what's being said, but Mrs. Morovsky just starts speaking, and then she starts smiling, and then she starts gesturing up the stairs, and then the head turns slightly to the side and looks up, and then nods, and then turns, and then backs out towards the door, out of shot, and then steps out.
And so how many days was this ago?
How many days?
Yeah.
About 4 or 5.
So about the time we were in the tunnels. I'm going to continue going through the footage, seeing if I can see if anyone else has popped up.
Okay. This one will be an intelligence plus investigation.
My poor computer.
Oh, you just wait if he gets the bestial.
It's just
That's what I'm afraid that's gonna happen.
You're not the only one. That's 2 successes.
Okay.
Good thing.
Fuck's sake, shit.
You begin racing back and forth through the footage. Now that you've caught a glimpse of someone that potentially could be it, you watch as Mrs. Morovsky speaks. Primarily, you see members of the coterie, yourself included, moving back and forth through these images. There are a few individuals that you know are the ones that currently reside in the hotel. You don't see anyone that looks similar to the individual in the hoodie. And it takes you a few moments of going back and forth to come to the conclusion that if anyone is likely to have come and name dropped Sarah, it's going to be the individual that you saw wearing the hoodie. So you scan back over towards the footage and you watch it again slower. And in the moment when she turns her head, you realise then that she's not turning her head to look up towards the stairs, but she's turning her head because someone's just said something to her. And you can tell that because she turns her head and then she says something. And then turns back and backpedals towards the door. Almost like she knows there's a camera there. And steps out. Meanwhile, Moses, with arms gripped tightly around you, uncomfortably tight, you begin racing off towards the location where you know Deacon Rhodes is going to be. The same little bar where you saw him previously. And as you pull up, there is a colder atmosphere here now. It's not, this area is, there are a few individuals inside the pub. It's not late enough now where it's been closed. And the doors are open, there's still light coming in, but it's strange that the moment you walk in, all of the eyes seem to turn and glance at you and then glance over towards a corner. And it's in this corner where you see Deacon Rhodes sat. He's not in a suit anymore, he's more in a just kind of casual dress. But the way that people are kind of glancing at him suggests that it's his immediate kind of response that they're looking at. And you can tell that most of the individuals here, they're either all doing Blush of Life exceptionally well, or most of these people are kind. But the way that he just kind of places a finger against his temple and just rubs it slowly, and then immediately people just nod and then just ignore you and go back to what they're doing. I'm assuming you still got your helmet on.
Yeah. It was beautiful while it lasted.
Well, you can always get it again.
Sorry?
You can always get it again.
But,
you know how.
I just stay there and take the situation in a little bit more. Like how many people do I think?
Probably about 24 people are in here.
Okay. Inside the bar.
Yeah.
So it's
including
sort of
a familiar
loud.
barmaid who kind of looks at you for a moment longer than most other people in this room, and then she kind of lowers her eyes and goes back to cleaning glasses.
Yeah, Mask of a Thousand Faces. Hunger one.
Okay. As you are kind of moving through and you are allowing the discipline to fuel, the moment your helmet comes off, everyone just looks at you in a way that makes it clear that it's worked. They're seeing someone else. And as you glance back over your shoulder, you see that Alice is there, and aside from the slightest trickle of blood underneath her jaw that she's missed, she otherwise looks fine. In the space of the journey, she has been slowly mending herself, but she does look, even with blush of health, paler. And her eyes do flicker back and forth to other people as she goes past, and then she rolls her shoulders, hands in the pockets of her coat, and she just marches past you towards the corner. And Deacon watches her approach, waits until she's close enough.
Yeah, I stay a little bit behind.
Yeah.
A little.
And the moment that she's close enough, he just gives her a nod, and she just slowly returns the nod, pulls out a chair, and then sits down on it, and then kicks out a chair opposite her for you.
Just walk there, and I just sit there.
And you notice that as not Deacon's just observing you very, very calmly.
Yeah, I just wave my head and it's like
Alice is glancing around towards the other corners, almost as though she's tracking people, and you know as you follow her glances.
Mayor around.
Yeah. Different members of the Bruja are
Cool.
littered here and there.
Anybody else? Difford as well?
Yeah, they are all there. All the individuals that you've seen in his company are there.
Cool.
And all of these are the individuals that are still watching you. Although they're doing a kind of respectable job of not paying too much attention to you guys as you're sat there. Every now and again they'll glance.
I just wave at Deacon when I see it. It's like, hi.
Well, this is a pleasure. Didn't expect to see you back in my corner.
I am assuming he knows I'm Moses because I am with Alice.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it. So I
mean, to be honest, you know,
yeah.
you don't know whether or not she's phoned ahead, and it's pretty obvious that if she's going to be dragging someone here that he doesn't recognise as an anarchist, it's probably going to be you.
Yeah.
Your relationship is not that secret.
No, not at all. I have some information that you will find most interesting. I'm not trading it, I'm giving it to you. But it's the kind of information that is dangerous to just drop in a place like this.
With us.
Okay. I just start like setting the table.
He watches you go, and then as the door shuts, you can see a long pool table that's there with the two cues just laid out. There's balls already set up.
Okay.
It is segregated. It's on its own. There's no one else in here, and the door is separating it is quite thick, and there are drapes over the windows that have been pulled. If it wasn't for the illumination offered by the lights, it'd be very dark in there. But it's nicely furnished, almost more dated than the room that you just stepped out of. And you're in there for a few moments before the door finally opens. Deacon steps through. He glances back out and holds the door, and then Alice marches through and then just leans against the pool table, her arms crossed. She's more pissed now that you see her in a moment, but she seems to be holding it together enough, even though her eyes do flicker back towards the door as it shuts and the people that are waiting outside. And then Deacon just closes the door, puts his hands in his pockets. Right. What's this news?
But it's kind of, you're not supposed to be knowing this. I'm not supposed to be telling you this, or anyone else for the matter. So I want you to understand and appreciate the risk I'm putting myself just by coming here. So if I can, I know it should go without saying, but if I can ask you to be very discreet with this information.
Depends on what it is.
You will know why I want to be discreet.
If I share your concern about it being discreet, then yeah, sure.
4 days ago, I was between London and Reading, and I encountered 3 Nosferatu. Does the term Cainite mean anything to you?
Yeah, why?
Because that's what we found. Most likely Sabat. They killed my fox.
Okay.
They staked me. My coterie was nearby, so they left before my
Did you ash them?
friends were. Sorry?
Did you ash them?
No, I couldn't.
Not you, but you know.
No. They staked me and left me there.
And you're sure they're Sabat when they left you?
Well, for Nosferatus, it's clan before sect.
You speaking for them, are you? Do you know that for definite?
No, I'm speaking for myself.
What? But do you know that that's why they left you?
No, I don't know why they left me. They killed my fox, and I lost it, so I went for them to attack them, making our location known to my coterie. They had seen my coterie, and they were not that far, so probably. And it was just not my coterie. We were with another couple of a kind. It's a kindred. So it's like they didn't want to make it like a 3v versus 4 kind of match or whatever. I am assuming all of this. They had a very hard line of questioning, but they were not given much in the way of information. But no Nosferatu uses that term. Not outside the Sabat.
There are plenty of kindred that have used that term before. It's not just a Sabat.
Okay.
Not common now, but do they say anything else that makes you think they're Sabat? I mean, they staked you, but let's face it,
they were not from the area. They were asking a lot of questions about us, and I assume they were lost or a scouting party, even if they were anarch or just on their own. So that's one of the reasons, partially, that I'm here, is to warn you. It might be Sabat, it might be nothing. So, but I wouldn't want you to just go telling everybody what I said and making a lot of fuss over something that potentially is not. And the other reason is there has to be like a few informants that you have, or people that are looking for information. If I give you enough to start, would you get your people to dig into it?
Why not ask the sheriff?
I already did.
Constable, or whatever the fuck they call it.
I already talked to the constable last night. And I
know, sorry. That was my slip.
Disapproving.
It's so good up until now.
Like, I did talk to the constable yesterday, and I will follow up with her tonight or tomorrow, as soon as I can. So
you do realise that if I was to send someone out to look at this, and
if something happens to them and it's not so bad, it's on me.
Well,
what it is?
Yeah, but
what if it is?
What if the constable finds out? Because we've also been snooping, they're going to find out that you told, and that's also on you. You prepare for that risk?
And I look at Alice, just stare at her.
She's watching you. She hasn't said anything.
Listen. And she already got angry at me for this. What happened to Tyler sucked. Beyond that, it was pure shit. But I had no control over the situation. And I feel like I owe it to him. Maybe not directly taking Thin Bloods into my wing, but I mean, he believed in something. He clearly believed in what he was doing. And he died before I could even had a decent conversation with him.
So you got to look at it from my point of view. All I've seen is that someone that was a decent kindred goes to you guys for help and turns up Ash because the constable shows up. Hey,
why?
I'm finished. Shows up and gets ashed. You know, I wasn't there. I don't know who's responsible. All I know is that a good guy is dead.
Cool. Why did he go to us? He knew there was a blood hunt on his head. We had just been introduced. Why did he go directly to us himself? Why not tell someone else? Why not tell you or Alice? It's known that she's my friend. Why not get to us in a different way? Why
Who do you think
himself?
recommended I drop your names?
Sorry?
Who do you think recommended I drop your names to him?
Yeah, but why would he? I know, but why would he go himself? Also, how does he know Alicia?
Who the fuck's Alicia?
Excellent. Well, it happens to be our gangrel's sire.
I don't know.
Well, he
It's a
dropped the
small
name,
world.
the guy lost it, and our Mancavian, he's a ticking time bomb when it comes to stress. The guy can't handle it. So, okay. From your point of view, he went in, constable went in, he never came out. I can show you the footage of what happened. Of how I tried to negotiate with him while he was talking to the gangrel, and the gangrel lost his shit. But neither of us called Jacqueline. We were trying to get to the bottom of it. I was trying to stop Jim, for Christ's sake.
As he's listening to this, there's the creak of wood as Alice pushes away from the pool table. She unfurls her arms, says, "If he's wrong and some shit goes down, I'll take it. I mean, you already beat the shit into me already, so what's another round? Right?" Deacon studies her for a while. I need a charisma plus persuasion check +1. Roll.
2 successes.
Okay.
Oh, I am assuming I'm not impaired because I recovered willpower, right?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Right. Where are these tunnels?
Okay, this is where it gets spooky. You're not supposed to know that there are tunnels
Yeah, I know.
between Reading and London.
You'd be surprised what I know.
Well, these tunnels is a network system. Is basically some areas of the underground of Reading, not like subway or whatever. I'm talking sewers and mains for like other utilities. They connect to some tunnel networks that are around. Basically labyrinths. Eventually you can get to London. In the same way you could get, I mean, if you follow the sewers from one place to another.
Can you give us instructions so that we can find it? That's all I need to fucking know.
Not exactly. I had a guide, someone from the area. She's unavailable.
Well, how do you want us to go and have a look if we can't get down there?
Because they are not going to be in those tunnels.
So, if you're saying these tunnels are like labyrinths, you want us to go down and what? Scan all of them?
No, I want you to start looking around the area for any sort of kindred activity in Reading. I don't even know if Reading has its own prince. I don't know if Emrys's grasp gets all the way there.
No, it doesn't.
Okay, so it's Reading like unaligned? Does it belong to somebody? Is it a domain that I have to go and present myself?
So you want me to send someone out to Reading to have a look?
Yes. Because I can tell you where the tunnels lead to. But the kindred that lived in those tunnels are no longer there. And I think these Nosferatu that I found, the ones who called me canine and had other jargon, weird stuff, I think they also realized that there was no one living there anymore. So one of two things. Either they moved in which case I wouldn't even recommend you go in there with a guide, because they would be at an advantage, or they were just making sure that no one was under their feet, especially Nosferatu. They were quite interested in the other Nosferatus with me.
This guide you mentioned. Who is it?
Which guy?
The guide, the one that showed you how to get there.
It's a Nosferatu from that area.
Okay. Names?
I think you might have seen her in the ball that Michael Chase gave.
I saw a lot of Nosferatu though. Doesn't really narrow it.
Well,
In no offense, it's kind of difficult to tell most of you guys apart.
okay. Well, she was introduced to us by other fellow Nosferatus, but I think I've said too much. Also, I know for a fact she's unavailable. She's not been ashed.
Can you tell me where the entrance is to these tunnels in Reading?
Yeah, that the way we came out, I can tell you that.
Glanced over to Alice. For her sake, you better make them pretty damn good. Because she's the one that's going. You wanted someone that's good at picking up trails and all the rest of that shit. She's one of the best ones we got.
I know. Can I go with?
No, you can't. The entire point of you telling me not to tell anyone is because you want to put distance between you and this bit of news you just shared.
Yeah, but if I'm there with her, no one would... Unless you're not sending her alone. Yeah, I'll shut up now. I'll give her what I know.
Right.
Sorry to have taken your time. And I just turn around and walk past her, and I goes like, "Are you coming? Or are you staying?"
He looks at her. She gives him a look. It's hard to tell what they're translating in that look, but then she just nods to him and then marches towards you and then out the door.
Okay. So when we're out, tell her, I assume you're gonna go as soon as I give you all the info, right?
Well, I'm not gonna go tonight.
Want to come to my haven and in my domain, and I can share with you some of the drawings I have and some of the maps of the way out.
Yeah. I need to hunt first, but I'll head over to yours after.
Okay, cool. You have a place to hunt?
Yeah. Trust me, I'm fine.
Okay. Need help?
No.
A lookout or something?
No, I'm good.
Someone with a bouquet? Okay, I'll see you at mine. Bye-bye. And
She hands you back the helmet.
yeah. I put on mine, strap hers to the back, and then I just nod at her, get in the motorcycle, and drive off.
She doesn't leave. She watches you go off and around the corner, but she stays where she is until she's out of sight.
Okay, yeah. Go back to the crosshands.
Okay. Meanwhile.
Oh, not straight route.
Yeah.
Okay.
You two.
I've headed out to go meet Sabine.
Okay. And
I will be going to deliver this
Okay.
photo.
All right.
Everyone's
So, Edmund, Sabine, and where have you gone?
Jim's still
he's
currently
In my room.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Okay. So, what were you looking for before I jumped into the scenes with you two? Through this footage. Anything else?
Just see if he's probably going to try and do as basic as much as he can with the cameras he has access to. Try and follow this person, see if we can get a glimpse of the face.
Okay, so you can try and track them over the...
Attempt to, but also going to open the phone, go to Moses. Problem bigger than we thought. Send it.
Don't drink and text, and don't know that. Yeah, that's a good advice as well. But don't drive and text. So I'm not checking my phone.
No. But you send off this message and you begin scanning through the various footages, and you can see slowly the individual moving from camera to camera, but you never get a full glimpse of this individual. Roll intelligence plus investigation for me.
1 success.
1 success. Okay. The individual, you manage to catch a single glimpse of the side of the face as she stops on a corner, and she turns and she seems to be talking to someone that's beside them. But then as she kind of turns to look down the street to see if any traffic is coming, you do glimpse a very, very, very familiar young face. Similar in some ways to your own, but with blonde hair. Not blonde since you've seen it last, but it's now blonde. It is definitely Sarah.
And any indications of what person she's with?
The person that she's with is taller than her, and it takes you a few moments of trying to observe to try and gauge who it is, but in the moment that you glimpse your sister's face, she kind of turns and starts walking across the street, and the other person continues to walk with them, and you don't catch a glimpse of who it is. It's the movements of the other individuals suggest that they know where the cameras are, because they are not once during their trek out of your domain, and it is making a beeline out of your domain. They seem to be purposefully avoiding the cameras, or whilst not avoiding the cameras fully, but they are always positioned in such a way that their back is to the cameras, and there is no glimpse of faces, aside from the momentary slip where Sarah, out of reflex, turned and looked to see whether or not a car was moving. What do you want to do?
Jim's been probably going very carefully through that footage, so once he's done, I'm going to leave kind of the monitor open in front and wait for Moses, because he's pretty sure Moses is going to come here very soon.
Okay. Are you heading to the chantry, or are you going to head towards the theatre?
I mean, it suggested that she said to me at the theatre.
Okay. So you begin making your way there, and there are still people there. There's people moving back and forth. There's no shows actively going at the moment. They're more setting up for shows. There are some people there that are looking through different show brochures. There's some people there that are buying tickets. But as you're kind of stepping in and you glance around, you see Sabine, who's stood over by the area that leads up into one of the box seats. And she smiles at you and then just gestures towards the curtains, and she steps through them and holds it open for you to step through as well.
I follow after her.
Okay. As you step past, she leans over to one of the staff members that works there, whispers something to him, and he nods and then pulls the curtain and then puts one of the velvet ropes across just to seal it off. And then he just turns and just stands almost as though he's just inspecting the room. And she starts marching up after you towards the box seat. And it's in this area now, this large arcing room, that you can see that no one else is there. It's been set up for a show. You can tell from a glimpse, the narrowest of passage slips in the curtains, that there is a set made up for whatever show is currently showing. But Sabine is more interested in checking the lower interior, just making sure that no one is in there. And this is pretty early for Kindred to gather, so it's very unlikely there will be one there. It seems kind of pointless to go to an Elysium when there is not really going to be anyone else to meet, but you never know. And she is very slow with her appraisal, and then finally she takes a seat, crosses her legs and gestures for you to do the same.
Do that.
Okay. How are you, darling?
I'm alright, thank you, yes. Yourself, you alright?
Oh, I'm ambivalent, I suppose. I've got some good news, and I suppose you could look at it some bad news. And I apologise if this is something that you would rather not be tasked with, but I considered that, given the situation and the circumstances, you were probably the best person for me to approach. Do you recall me mentioning about a property that I wanted to try and purchase?
Yes, I do remember that.
Well, that is no longer the biggest concern that I currently have.
Right.
Instead, I have something a little closer to home, darling. It's regarding your former ghoul.
Right.
She does another very slow check about the room. This one a little bit more thorough. And then, if I tell you something, darling, it has to be in the strictest confidence.
Of course.
I have suspicions, unfounded at the moment, but they are quite strong suspicions, that your ghoul, your former ghoul, is unaffected by the blood bond.
Is that so?
Now, as you can imagine, this news is immediately troubling to me with regards to ensuring her loyalty to the clan.
Of course.
But it's also something of a ironic delight.
Silver linings and all that.
Because it also means her loyalty will not be towards your esteemed sire.
Yeah.
However, to make it even more delicious, I don't even think Oliver knows.
At least not the way that he's pandering towards her. He doesn't seem to notice the small signs that I have.
Is she keeping up the pretense?
One can only assume, darling.
So she is aware, presumably, that it's not the way.
It seems like she's adopting a demeanour of one who is the quiet, subservient one. It seems...
Survival technique.
I mean, she is accustomed to Oliver's tantrums.
Yes.
I mean, her, I suppose, eternal scarring on the back is now testament to his lapses in conscience. However, if this does hold weight, then it leaves us with an interesting opportunity and also a potential problem that we need to appraise.
Yeah.
If she is immune to his blood bond, then she is immune to the loyalty to the clan, or at least the safeguards that ensure said loyalty. However, if someone were to have a closer bond to her, say yourself, and her loyalty is not yet ensured by Oliver,
Right.
then we have a means with which to ensure that Oliver does not ascend to a seat which can damage the clan irreparably.
I understand. I also assume that were the rest of the clan to get wind of this fact, that she would most likely be destroyed.
Oh, without a doubt.
Yes, yes.
The Regent has already had her fill of potentially damaging mistakes. The idea that Will's embrace was used as a means of putting distance between you as a matter of punishment, to know that that's failed, quite spectacularly, I might add, it's not going to sit well with the Regent, which is why you are the only individual that I have told my concerns to. And again, they are suspicions. I have not had a conversation with her, and neither will I. However, if she does not have his best interest in heart, then maybe she recognizes what he's done, realizes what he's taken, and will be more likely to side with the people that have her best interests at heart. I'm not going to lie, that's more you than me.
Of course.
But my interest in that particular property has already fallen through. This is one of the more tempting means of ensuring that Oliver does not brown nose his way onto the Primogen.
I understand.
Of course, darling, I understand the connection that you and your ghoul had, and I would not think less of you if you decided to distance yourself from this. However, regardless of what you decide, I do expect the strictest confidence.
Of course, of course. As I say, it was... you are right, it was my previous intention to keep that distance. But if what you say is true, then it could prove a valuable asset to you and to...
Well, to both of us, darling. I know she meant something to you. Well, I'm assuming that was not artificial or pretense on your part. You're not that good of an actress.
No, you're right. You're right. But you do understand that I always, now and always, I always put the clan before any feelings of that nature.
As does any respectable Tremere. However, in this case, both goals align. If she is more likely to work with us and she still holds Oliver's trust and esteem, then he has just given us one great big doorway to walk through to dislodge him from his ascent.
You're right.
Because I have no idea how much longer we have before
Indeed.
the decision is made as to who sits on the Primogen. I'm not willing to risk waiting.
One does wonder what the current priorities in terms of business are regarding everything. Which reminds me, we took the news to the constable, and that has been dealt with. And There was something I wanted to share with you, but and I'm sure this is, of course, mutual at this time. But again, I must ask. I'm not sure how many people are aware, but I would much rather it remained close.
My lips are sealed, darling.
Is the clan? And I have another glance around.
Wits plus awareness.
That's 2 successes.
Okay. Anything else around? You can hear noises off in the distance, but as your eyes drawn towards it, it's clear it's coming from the opposite of the door.
Is the clan aware that? And this, I understand if this sounds even stranger than the last set of news I brought you. Is the clan aware that the Constable Jacqueline appears to possess what I understand from what I've read to be a certain, well, let's say her dedication to the church seems to be so strong that she is able to, well, she branded a member of my coterie with his own rosary. And it seemed like quite a powerful display of faith of some kind.
Sure it's faith?
I don't know any other kindred to possess the ability to do what I saw. I was quite close.
As far as the Chantry is concerned, she does not have access to any sort of blood magic that would allow her to do similar.
I mean, the mark was there, plain as day, on his hand, around his wrist. It was as if he had been branded right there, and I saw the pain on his face. And she uttered a prayer as she did it.
This is genuinely surprising. I didn't take her to be sincere in her displays of faith. I mean, not many people hold to faith as honestly as they did in their living days, and even that was tenuous at best.
It was only what I saw. I thought it would be worth sharing with you, and of course I wouldn't share it with anyone else. It was just it shocked me, quite honestly, in the moment.
I appreciate your candor, darling. It's certainly interesting.
Yes.
I mean, without seeing the afflicted area myself, I couldn't suggest anything. However, I think that might be a bit too
on the nose.
Yes, it is certainly an interesting bit of news. You said the sheriff, the constable. I did it again.
Yes. Well, we went to find her. She was at a church. She was praying there for hours.
Hours?
Yes.
Well, the woman doesn't lack for conviction. And I appreciate it. The information, I will not share it with anyone else. It's useful to know, however. No, I appreciate that, darling.
Of course. And regarding what we also discussed, I will inform you of any updates. I still possess quite a few of her old possessions, including her vehicle, so that would perhaps be a good place to
I leave it entirely at your discretion how you broach the subject. Assuming, of course, you even want to, I just ask that you keep me appraised.
Of course.
If it is too much for you, darling, I can make the overture myself. However, I won't lie, it won't have the same effect.
I can at least get a toe in the door, so to speak.
Certainly. Just don't overdo it with yourself.
No.
I'm not quite certain how fresh the wound still is. I'm not going to pretend to know how far your affections spread, my darling. I think I'm a bit past that point myself. For better or worse. I won't pretend to sympathise. However, it was sincere from what I saw, and
Here's hoping that that's enough.
Wishes.
But I will leave that entirely in your court.
Of course. And yes, if there's anything else, just let me know. Until the next revelation, I am otherwise unpreoccupied. Yes.
Well, I'm on the other side of a phone call if you need me, darling.
Of course.
Well, I won't hold you up any further. And she climbs to her feet, brushes herself down, offers you a nod, and then holds open the curtain for you.
Thank you. And I will exit.
And she follows you through. And the individual that she left out to whisper into is remained exactly where she left him. And the moment that he sees the curtain ruffling, he looks over and then pulls the velvet rope across. You step out. She offers you another smile and a nod and steps through the crowd of people. And now and again, people kind of glance over and see her, and she offers them a smile, a friendly kind of very, very quick back and forth, just purely by gaze, and then steps out.
Okay. Katia, how far is the theatre from the chantry?
From the chantry? Yeah, how are you intending on going there? By tube?
By public transport, yes. I was just wondering, is it like the side of a triangle to go there and then home, or is it kind of wildly opposite direction?
I'd probably say it's roughly equidistance. You could probably go one way or the other. I mean, obviously it's going to be a bit longer if you did go home, just purely because you'd have to double round. But you wouldn't be wasting a lot of time if you went back to the Haven first.
Katia's going to take out her phone and text, and she's going to text Peter. Peter? Who's Peter?
Hey, everyone's doing it tonight. I don't feel so bad.
I think
Hey,
he's
it's been a
the
few
sheriff.
weeks. Oh no.
The sheriff, yeah. The sheriff's called Peter.
Yeah.
She's gonna
Peter the sheriff.
text Benjamin. Meeting is running over a bit. I'll be a little while. And she's actually going to head in the direction of the chantry because something's kind of been on her mind, and she wants. Because as far as she's concerned, like, she has free run of the chantry. It's not like she's blocked out anymore.
No. Yeah. I mean, as an acolyte, you've got free reign largely. Well, within reason.
Within reason.
Yeah. So yeah, you're not going to get stopped. So you start making your way towards the chantry. Meanwhile, after leaving the Haven, after your brief discussion with Katia,
Yeah.
are you going to make straight towards the gallery?
Yeah.
Okay. You start making your way down these familiar routes, and at this point it is pretty much routine. Everything you're doing is just, unless...
So one thing is that I will be keeping an eye out as I'm driving along these streets in case I see a car with a particular registration that I believe is a red car. Because if I do, that might alter what I'm doing. But otherwise, I'm just driving to the gallery. But I should say that Benjamin is sort of always looking for that car now, wherever he goes. So he's not doing anything radical in terms of his route. He's taking his normal route. But if he happens to go and it's like parked outside a house or whatever, then obviously I'd like to know.
He's only prepping a Molotov just in case.
Who could say?
Wits plus awareness.
Oh, okay.
I'm assuming you don't have heightened senses up, because...
No, not when I'm driving, no.
That'd be interesting.
4 successes.
4 successes.
That's what I'm good at.
There are plenty of red cars around you, and every single time you see one, woof, your eyes follow.
Yeah.
But none of them match. I mean, there are the occasion where you get a red car and there is a female driver, and immediately your eyes kind of scan the face, but then you quickly realise that it's not the same woman.
Sure.
And you're not sure whether that makes you feel better or worse. But you continue making your way towards the gallery, and by the time you've gone there, you've noticed at least 7 red cars, and each one has taken your undivided attention.
Yeah.
And then climbing out of your car, you do a quick glance around just to double check any red cars going past, and begin making your way up towards...
Yeah, now her car was parked outside last time.
Yeah.
Is it this time? The other thing to say is that when I approach the gallery, I'm going to approach it kind of... I'm not going to go directly up to it. I'm going to go around to the side of the building and look, now using heightened senses, at a distance to see if there is anyone by the side door.
Okay.
Because he's worried. This will become clear probably more about why later, but he's worried particularly about someone at the side door.
Okay. I'll get a roll from you
for that. However, we will do that after the break.
Okay.
So
Already break time.
we're going to take a 10-minute break, guys, and we will be back as normal. So thank you, guys, and we'll see you in 10. I'll see you.
Are you going to slip out with it? Right.
Step up for a second.
In addition to us having a new venue and a new emote and Twitch affiliate status and all that kind of stuff, we also have a newly improved 2.0
Relationship map.
Is this in the right place?
Is that in the right
Is
place?
that good?
Yeah, in the centre.
We are I am very excited about this. And so is Carlos, so we're going to talk about it a lot. So there's what you'll probably see is that everything's just a bit more cleanly laid out as a first point, but we've also done things like update the coteries' comments to each other and also the different sections. So what I was thinking, guys, was maybe we could do each of our characters as a very swift recap of what's there. And hopefully through the magic of Dylan you'll get a slightly better view than normal, and then when we've done that we'll look at the relationship specifically between the characters. So shall we maybe you're probably at the wrong end of the
What are
board.
we starting
I'm
with?
at the complete wrong end of the board. But I can stand up. That helps. Actually, maybe I can't. I don't know. Oh, I've just crushed the chocolate.
It's all,
The chocolate.
not the chocolate.
I
Okay.
can see. Okay, now I can see. Just remember, I have the worst eyesight in the world.
Okay.
Also, watch your hair in the glass of water.
No, that's alright. Alright, where should I start?
So Katia.
So
Don't
Katia.
even try to sit down. There's no hope.
I guess just maybe a quick recap on the people you're connected to.
Alright, so at the moment, I probably should add another one after soon. Maybe I'll do that for next week. Top we have Katia's sire, Oliver Whitlock. Her opinion is, as it has been since episode 10, actually it's probably a bit more extreme than that, but even on the relationship map, Katia controls her feelings. So that one currently reads, "You're a dick, but you did open my eyes."
He is a dick.
For Will, that's going to have to probably change soon.
Oh yeah.
That one says, "You are dead, I shouldn't feel guilt anymore." And then she's also vaguely connected to Victoria Talbot, the regent for the Tremere, and Sabine, who doesn't seem to have an opinion right now. Must have fallen off. I'll put a new one on. And as for her opinions for the rest of the coterie, Katia's opinion for Benjamin is pitiable. Soon he will learn. To Moses, it is he is far more serious than I initially thought. Thank fuck. And for Jim, I think he's learnt, and then it goes to hell. So that's pretty much Katia right now.
Cool. So
I'm gonna disappear again. Bye.
So I don't know if you want to do.
Do you want to come right round?
You want to do Jim?
Yeah.
Almost
Almost.
there.
That's very exciting.
There we go. Right. So for Jim, we have a new little string that is not in the book, but for those connected to magic, we have a lovely little purple string.
Purple string.
Him to the smiling man. Only him. If Jim finds out, Moses is in trouble. He also connected to Alicia, which is the only other vampire he's connected to at the moment, as well as to his sister Sarah, which the caption there is, "How did you find out?" Of course, you've been raised in this episode why he's asking that question. To the detective sergeant, which he's probably going to contact soon, which is, "You're a good man, far better than I." And to Mr. Peyton, the question is, "Find her, damn it." And to the rest of the coterie, to Benjamin, it's, "I may have to teach him." To Moses, it's currently useful but a bit naive. And to Katia, it's somewhat, "Get off my back!" Yes, so that is currently what Jim is.
Cool. So I'll do a quick Benjamin rundown. So Benjamin is obviously connected to his sire, Evan St. Clair, and the quote remains the same because he is still a wonderful man.
man.
Such a wonderful man.
Wonderful Sabat incursion.
And that is the only vampire he's connected to directly. He's also connected to a couple of mortals. There is Kelly Cardwell, who is his sister, and also you'll see there is a new one over here, the mysterious A. Jenkins, the artist who is not going to usurp Benjamin, I'm sure, in the future. And then in terms of coterie opinions, to Katia, it is she alone believes me. And to Moses, I've got it's nice how he fixes things. And Jim remains the same, which is I like him when he's fed. And that concludes the Benjamin section.
And where we have some shenanigans behind the scenes, Moses. So Moses is connected to a fair share of vampires. I had to put a couple of the vampire pins for that. So of course Alice, his best friend, BFFs forever, Bruya, and my primogen Plucky Jake. There's also Carrion, or Sexy Pearl 68, as you might know her. And these three here, the three stooges, are Hairy Nos, Spiky Nos, and Skinny Nos, or whatever.
Spiky, maybe?
And Spiky, that one. Those are the ones who took Moses under Redding, and Hairy Nos was the one who killed Foggy. So the only reason there's a connection there is because, well, Moses hates their guts.
That's when you get to know them.
There's something here that, well, I don't know. The comment is what, sire? And let's move on. There is a connection to Constable Jacqueline, especially after the whole branding and stigmata style, which I'm not healing, by the way. I'm just keeping that point of aggravated damage on me.
Okay.
Indefinitely. And there is I'm proud of this very long connection all the way to my bae Alicia. And for those of you who attended Howard School of Wizardry, there is an invisible line from here to the wizards. I also gave my blood. Comments for the coterie, basically for Katia. We need to trust each other. You know, that's what I mean, if we are to survive, we need to trust each other. For Benjamin, where was it? Oh yeah, for Benjamin is he saw what? Like, I'm still not very convinced about that, but still a little shaken. Well, fuck's sake, Jing. So that's me. Oh yeah. Lucy, right there.
Okay.
So, if the excitement of a new board wasn't enough, we've also changed the Board of the Dead. So,
Board of the Dead.
the Board of the Dead. Okay. Which
We're
is
bored of the dead, that's why they're dead.
upside down.
Yep.
Mind your nose.
Yeah. So what you'll see, partly to clean up the relationship map, we took characters who are in the game still but not currently in play, and put them over this side in two sections, cool and not cool. So in the cool section is Martin Alton, who is the student who didn't die when Katia beat him up with
That's how you fail a feeling,
crowbar.
guys. You fail and you still don't kill them.
And of course Thimble, our lovable thumb-wearing Nosferatu friend in the tunnels. And then in the not cool section, you've got all of the Thin Bloods that we dealt with, who are currently with the Tremere, and you've also got Martel, who is the one that got a bit grumpy around Moses, almost, not obviously not actually poaching, but potentially.
I would never poach.
He would never do that. And lastly, of course, our first love, Darren Fitcher, and his daughter Maisie.
Why are they cool?
No, they're in the not cool.
Okay, I was gonna say.
They are totally in the not cool section.
Wait, you can't see this at the moment, don't worry.
So Board of the Dead is kind of as it was, but there is one addition which I'm going to leave Carlos to mention.
Sadly, Moses unceremoniously entered the Board of the Dead. after he killed poor Catherine, a young girl, a fan of hardcore, that was having a night out and was completely drunk. And, well, Moses is deeply sorry he did that.
And for those of you who care, our current winners, or at the top of the leaderboard on the Board of the Dead, are Jim with 2 kills.
I think you mean losers.
And also the mysterious Blood Eagle killer with 2. Although, as someone pointed out, we don't know for sure. Might actually have been Phil that pointed this out. We don't know for sure that it's the same person that killed these 2. So technically, Jim is at the top or the bottom of the Board of the Dead in terms of killings.
Also known as the naughty list.
Also known as the naughty list. So there concludes the Board of the Dead with new bonus cool and not cool section.
It's like the Cool War when they used to do it on Top Gear,
Oh, yeah.
but better.
But better, indeed.
Because you haven't got to look at Jeremy Clarkson's face.
Do we have any questions from the chat?
Yep.
Okay, apparently we have questions from the chat.
First off,
Oh.
Okay.
okay, so I'm gonna move a little bit.
Oh my god. Invader!
No, just so the mic knows.
Okay, for the microphone.
So if we could say thank you to Vanfluencer,
Oh, Bamfluencer, thank you very much.
the Twitch Prime sub.
Thanks for your time there.
We could say thank you to Queen Lunthiel.
Oh, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Yeah, yes.
Looking Alive for a Corpse came out strong with the 100 bits.
Yeah!
Thank you, Natalie.
And then our friend Obra,
Oh!
not allowing his authority to be questioned, came out with the 500 bits.
Oh! Thank you, man.
Thank you very much for that.
Thank you very much.
And then I think we did have a couple questions.
We did have questions? Okay.
So
Thank you guys so
Yeah,
much.
thank you.
Thank you.
There was one question earlier on about XP. So does Titus grant the players XP? If yes, or how many roughly have you gained since the beginning?
Ooh, are we allowed to
Yeah,
say?
are you allowed to say? You want me to take this one? Want to take it yourself?
I'm happy for you to say the current amount of XP that you've had.
Okay, so we're going with standard V5 rules on XP, and from character creation all the way till today, not counting today's XP, we have had a 34 XP. The whole of Blood of the Thames started with us. We started initially on 20th anniversary, and we transitioned to V5 the moment we realized it was coming out. So in order to have as close, because our characters were created, we already had even done the introductory videos and everything. And just before we started the actual recording of the introduction to the prince and preludes and all of that, in order for us to make a smooth transition as close as the characters we had created, Titus gave us the option of the extra 15 XP you have when you create a character, so they do not end up being fledglings but neonates. And then since then we have earned a total of 19 XP. So 34, today's 35th.
So we normally get 1 XP per session, but then if we're very good, we get 1 at the end of a book as well.
Yeah, end of the book, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, on the rarest of occasions, I might do 1 additional ones, but I do get some furrowed brows from some people that prefer the slower progression.
Yeah, some of us are quite conservative with our XP.
Yeah. So I just, I just,
I like it to be slow.
The train there in me is disgusting.
I know.
so I just give it to everyone else. And just,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I've had 2 XP over the whole campaign. That's how I want it.
but that's how, yeah, conservative.
Yeah.
And just to say, that question was from our friend Batu Armando.
Oh, Batu. Lenny.
Live.
Nice. Good to have you here. And it's looking sweet what you did with the new Amaranth stuff and in the Shragnet. It's easier to find it. Like it.
It's awesome.
It is
So
awesome.
next question from Kirsty99 is briefly, but I'm sort of curious how everyone got into VTN. If that's not too elaborate a question.
We can try and do a
make
short,
it quick.
concise summary.
Yeah.
Do you want to start with Carlos?
I started when Vampire the Masquerade came out a lifetime ago. I started playing it back in 1996, and I just had been playing D&D as a kid, like as you do again in Latin America. The game had been translated to other languages, and then someone found a copy. A group of people, a group of friends of mine were playing it, and I got really interested, so I devoured the book and decided to first experience. Actually, I was a storyteller for my first vampire game because I wanted to play it immediately, and the only other person who had read it was already a storyteller, and it's been a love-hate relationship for the last long time.
What, you love the game, the dice hate you?
Oh yeah, the dice hate me, but the dice have always hated me, and you have witnessed that. So yeah.
So,
but it's been a while.
So like Carlos, I guess it was a while ago. Let's call it late 90s and leave it at that.
Yeah.
I think there is actually like a second edition vampire on our shelf somewhere. But I think my first actually experience was in a live game in Oxford, and then after that. Sort of various. I've actually only played in I think 2 vampire games before this one, so not a lot. But yeah, and they've been very spread out. There's normally like a 5-year gap between each time that I play, if not longer.
So my first contact with Vampire the Masquerade occurred 20 years after Carlos. 2016.
Great. I don't feel old at all.
Yeah, where I played for the first time with my friends at university, it was amazing. I really loved it, and I guess dissimilar to Peter, I played it basically intensely since then, because played a campaign then. Then I picked up a Sabat campaign with some friends a couple of years ago, and that's still ongoing. How I would love to bring my Sabat character as a cameo into this game. No one else would love it, but it would be great.
I'd love it.
We'll talk about this. We'll talk.
And maybe Peter as well.
And then I also played in the online game. What's the online one called? The one that we all you did as well.
Tell them I'm powerful.
What was it called? Anyway, there was an online one that used like online messaging, which was like a 24-hour rolling game with like loads of members, and I played that for quite a long time. And then it was only a couple of months after that I jumped into this one. So I just jump in and out of games constantly, it seems.
And now it comes to me, the official baby of the group. Because this is my first experience with Vampire. I'd got into just role-playing games a little over a year ago. Went out to just trying to experience more, saw a little thing for this, and figured, what the hell? It's not going to be as bad as they're saying. Oh boy, was I wrong. Oh boy, was I wrong. But oh my god. So great, it's amazing.
Whereas,
I remember it was called Sanguinus.
There we go.
Sanguinus?
Yeah.
Blood Brothers?
No, it wasn't to do with the Blood Brothers, it was just the name of the...
Just Sanguinus, okay.
Whereas I started, originally for like role-playing stuff, I used to do the Choose Your Own Adventure book things, which, thanks to my dad, thank you, Dad. But eventually, when I finally had enough money to go out and buy some of these shiny new role-playing books at Cyberdyne in Stroud, back when it was there, one of the ones that I could afford because it was on sale was Vampire the Masquerade. 3rd edition. It was the only one I could afford because it was like right down on sale. I picked it up and then started reading through the introductory thing of a sire telling a prospective child about what they can expect and all the rest, and after that I was like, yes, yes, and I've never stopped playing it since. Well, never stopped running it since. Alas. But yeah, so that Vampire was my first big role-playing game. It's the main reason I'm into role-playing games. It's also one of the reasons I went into acting. So I owe a lot to Vampire the Masquerade. But yes, that is everyone.
We did have a few others, but I think we're a bit out of time.
Yeah.
I should get back again.
Yeah.
Ask
how many
again
are there?
next week.
Yeah. Can we hold them over for next week?
I'll hold them over.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry about that, guys.
guys.
We will definitely answer them next week. If
We will,
you're
we
dying
promise.
for an answer, we can answer them over.
Yeah, just ask us
Social
on
media?
Twitter as well. Like, I'm happy. I'm
yeah.
always happy to take DMs if people have any questions on Twitter.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have our Twitter handles here.
Our Twitter handles.
Twiddle handles.
Twitter handles.
Yeah.
I'm running out of English, señorita. Leave me alone.
No,
CC.
we do love your questions, guys. Keep sending them in. 'Cause
Thank you very
we
much.
like them.
Yeah.
And we're always happy to answer them, either here or over social media. But for now, let's jump back in. So, we all back, Dylan?
Yep.
Yes. Sweet! Hello again, assuming my camera went off. If it didn't, I'm sorry for the dancing. And if it did go off, I wasn't dancing. That's a lie. So, we'll jump straight back in with... Who should we go to first? You.
Me.
Because we were halfway through. So, you step around the side of this building, glancing around, almost expecting to see this homeless individual. And for the moment, you think that he is there. There is certainly a bundle of something there, but when you kind of give it all of your attention and you linger there for a moment, you realise that it's just a cluster of debris and rubbish, and it's not him. But you almost expect to see someone there, even if it's not him. What do you want to do? There's no one else in this.
Is the gallery shut? As in, can I go through the main entrance, or do I need to go through the side?
There are lights on.
Okay, I'll go to the front then. And
Okay, so you open up the door, and then you step into the hallway. And the individual who's currently there speaking to, you're assuming is a member of the public, based upon the fact that they have a pamphlet for the gallery. They nod and step away, and you see a familiar young woman, not the individual that you're trying not to see, but a young woman whose last appearance occurred at a very volatile time when you were here. She has the same cut down the side of her face, but it's almost imperceptible from the makeup and the way it's applied, but you managed to pick it up. And she is walking with a style of limp which suggests that she has perhaps a not fully healed leg injury. But she's moving back and forth, and then she stops, sees you, and then just offers a small nod, and then glances over towards the doors just to make sure that there's no one else still inside. And you can hear movement from within, and then she takes a step over and goes, good evening, Mr. Green.
Oh, hello. I don't think I got your name.
Amelia.
Amelia. Nice to meet you. I didn't want to take up too much of his time, but I wondered if I could just have a moment. There's something he wanted me to deliver.
For Mr. Sinclair?
Oh, yes.
He's not here right now.
He's not. Do you know where he is? He said it was most urgent that I delivered this to him.
I believe he's away with one of the artists from the gallery.
Which one?
That was Miss Jenkins.
Miss Jenkins. What was her first name again? Began with A. It was
Abigail.
Oh, that's right, Abigail. Yes, Abigail. Do you know where they've gone?
I would assume over to her flat. Is it important? I could probably give him a ring if it is.
He did say it was very important. Well, perhaps if you just... whereabouts is her flat again?
Make a manipulation persuasion roll.
No! Manipulation plus persuasion?
Yes, because you are persuading her to give you something.
Let me guess, that's...
Okay, here we go.
A die?
How are you that unmanipulative and persuasive?
I'm just not very persuasive or manipulative. Have you not seen me, in action? One success.
I mean, that's 100% success rate on that die.
That is as good as it can get.
Guys, we need the emoticon. Spam it.
Yeah.
Normally I don't hand out this kind of information, but as your Mr. Sinclair's companion, if you just wait here for a moment. And she limps through the door and closes it behind her. And you're left there stewing on this information for a good 5 minutes, maybe 10.
It's hard to keep track of the time.
Yeah.
And then finally she comes back through with a slip of paper and hands it to you. And with as much restraint as you can, you open it and find that she lives in a small flat in Cricklewood in northwest.
Excellent. So I will.
Just got this image of you doing that in front of her.
No, I'm not doing that in front of her.
I mean, he's got one manipulation.
I will say, thank you very much. And I'll look at the address and I'll say, oh dear. I don't think I'm going to have time to get there tonight with my other business. I tell you what, I'll slip the address away. Could I put upon you, I don't suppose you've got an envelope I could borrow?
I can certainly fetch one.
Oh, thank you, yes, because then I could put the information into the envelope because I'm sure, and then you could give it to him when he gets back.
If you're happy for me to do so, I can leave it in his office.
Well, seeing as you've been so trusting, I think that's fine.
I'll go and fetch the envelope.
Yes.
Excuse me. She limps back out and closes the door again.
You're making her limp her way. Like,
oh yeah.
You get the feeling it's not like she's just suffered an injury and she's limping.
Yeah.
The way she's walking suggests that she's not in pain with it, but her leg isn't moving the proper way it's supposed to. Almost like when you've had a break that hasn't healed properly.
Okay.
And she limps back into the rear area, and you're waiting this time for a little bit longer.
Sure.
Until she returns and she has an envelope and just hands it to you.
Okay, so I will fold the photocopy of this picture.
Okay.
Put it into the envelope. Seal the envelope. I'll write to Edmund, on the front.
Okay.
As promised. And I'll give it. I'll say. It's very important that only he opens it.
It'll go straight in his office. No one else goes in there.
Thank you ever so much. Was it Abigail? She said.
Amelia.
Amelia, sorry. Thank you so much, Amelia, and I'll obviously see him again soon.
Thank you, Mr. Green. Was there anything else I can do for you? I've got people waiting.
No, that's everything. That's wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Bye.
She waves you off and then steps away into the other door, and that one closes before your door closes, sealing you outside into the bitter cold with bitter thoughts.
Yes. So I'll.
Very cold June.
Hey, it's England.
I think I will go. I'll go back to the crossed hands, I think.
You probably would have got my message by now.
Yeah.
Oh, saying you're running late?
Yeah.
I'll text back, not to worry.
Okay. You're heading straight back to the crossed hands.
Am I heading straight back to the crossed hands? That is a very good question. The thing is, I don't think Benjamin wants to run into Edmund here. That would not be cool. Actually, I know what he's going to do.
Okay.
He's going to get in his car, intending to go back to the crossed hands. But he may happen to go down that road.
On the other side of the city. Cricklewood's in the northwest.
Yeah, that's true. We're in. Okay, no, he's not going to go.
I mean, you could do it. It's just a really long detour. It's hard to,
How's your intelligence?
It's quite good.
Yeah.
I'm going to go
Just have your wisdom.
back to. I'm going to go back to the crossed hands for now.
Okay.
Out of interest, in very, very rough terms, is Edmund's gallery or the crossed hands closer to that flat in Cricklewood?
Edmund's gallery is.
Shit.
Yeah, we are all the way.
Yes. If Cricklewood is up here in the northwest, you're down here in the southeast. That's where your haven is.
Okay.
With the Thames running.
Okay.
It's closer to where you are.
Then yeah. I mean, how big are these? What are we talking? Am I going to leave?
What if you went down to the haven and then back?
No, if I went to this place and then back to the.
Depending on traffic, it wouldn't take too long. I mean, you've not been to Cricklewood, really?
Okay.
Yourself? You can't imagine it'd take more than an hour.
I think he just wants to see it.
Taste the joint.
Just wants to see it, just a glance. That's all he wants, just a glance.
Okay.
So he's going to drive that way.
So, as you step into the car with your wind mirror still turned away, you pull away and start making towards the haven. And then as you think
you realise you're already starting to turn the wheel.
Yeah, just
and going just to look, just so you know where Edmund is, and you begin driving off the other way. I mean, it's not that much of a detour. It's not like you've got anything important to do.
Exactly. No, Katia's running late. It's fine.
Yes. And you begin.
Don't make it sound like I enabled it.
And you start making your way back.
It's like it was fate that she was delayed. Yeah.
See? I know. Otherwise, you wouldn't have gone.
Yeah.
It's like she's planning. So you make your way off towards there. Meanwhile, we'll go with Jim first.
Jim is currently waiting on Moses.
Okay.
Having a phone in front of him.
Okay. He wouldn't have made a call. You were going straight back to the crosstowns.
Yeah.
Okay, so it wouldn't have taken you too long to get back back towards the crosstowns.
No,
and before long, you're pulling up just as a young couple who's been stepping aside speaking to Mrs. Morovsky step out, and by young I mean late 20s, and they kind of step round you, kind of in that polite way without giving you acknowledgement and going on their way, and then you step back inside as Mrs. Morovsky's lowering herself back down into a chair. And before you can say anything to her, the first thing you're aware of is that as you glance over into the corner of your eye, the first thing you're apparent of is there is a very slight illumination from your doorway. Your door is open. Not like fully open, but it's only someone that's very accustomed to the light.
Downstairs it's dark usually, and I see a little bit of light. Is Mrs. Morovsky in her?
Yeah, she's back down in a chair, and she offers you a nod.
I just wave with my helmet still on, but I don't say anything. And I start going downstairs very stealthily.
Okay.
Take off my helmet.
Dex plus stealth.
I'm obfuscating.
You don't have all specs, do you?
I don't have all specs.
No.
Gonna be breaking into my own room, right?
Who'd have thought it?
Also, not going hungry from unseen passage.
Yes.
I am like someone is in there, so I intend to maul them with a very hard helmet. That is only 6 successes.
There's a critical win.
Critical win.
You glide down the staircase towards the lower floor, and it's only when you turn the corner and glance towards your terminal you realise the form that's there is recognisable. But that doesn't make you feel any less angry and violated.
Well, actually,
as you notice,
instead of afraid, sort of fight then flight, is what the fuck's sake, Jim.
You can see over his shoulder that he's going through camera footage. Do intelligence plus investigation for me.
Three successes.
It is very clear what he is doing, and it only in that briefest of glimpses staring at the screen you can see there is one common theme going between every camera that he's clicking on and following, and it is this young couple that is moving off. You can't see much about them, although you do note that both of them look feminine. There is one that has a white hoodie drawn up, and you can just see the tail end of what looks to be blonde hair, and both of them are positioned in every shot with their backs to the cameras. Almost in a very natural. You wouldn't note that they were avoiding the cameras if you were just to look at it. You'd just think it was, oh, fucking good luck. But you know that the paths that they're taking are only mapped in such a way that they avoid these hidden cameras. And then they finally step out of sight, and you can hear him give not an X, as he clicks through it and goes.
Jim being very careful on his keyboard.
The most ginger that you've ever seen Jim clicking on the cameras trying to go through.
Oh, this is gonna be such a reality call. I'm just gonna take maybe 2 or 3 steps back. In a way that him being sideways but partially covered. Basically, So, because I envision that he's sitting on one of the desks that's behind the lower column in the basement. I'm just gonna do a little bit of a you know when you're playing basketball, you're dribbling the ball and then you do these 2 steps before you throw them?
Yeah.
That's what I'm gonna do. And I'm gonna dunk my helmet on his head.
Oh my god.
As hard as I can.
Gangrel in the basement.
Screaming, "Who are you? What are you doing here?"
Okay. Strength plus brawl against difficulty 1. Because he didn't see you though.
I think this is a great episode to
Take
publicize
5 successes,
Facebook.
critical win.
How many?
5 successes, critical win.
Okay. Right, remind me, is it round up or round down for damage? Superficial.
That means that I had a margin of 4.
Yeah.
I'm not using potence for this, don't worry about it.
Okay. So, as you are clicking through, you all of a sudden hear a screech, and as you turn your head around, the first thing you see is solid, hard material just collide with the side of your face. You hear that as your nose breaks, and the slight shooting pain in the side of your jaw as it doesn't fully dislocate but shifts, and then you taste the iron metallic taste of blood that doesn't quite make it out of your mouth because you don't bleed anymore. But as you kind of slump out of the chair, you lift yourself up and around and see Moses there with his helmet.
But
who are you? What are you doing?
Jim's fists are already in the air.
Oh
Okay.
my god.
I go starting like, who are you? What are you doing here?
That's
Basic stuff.
Official damage.
2, yeah. So 4, halved.
So uncivilized.
Before Jim last night, he's laying one back at the Moses.
Okay. You swing it again?
We don't combat.
And then
don't you dare. You break in and then you defend yourself? Oh, how dare you.
Okay. Is this... Alright, are you dodging or are you trading blows? He's taking a swing.
Actually, I'm gonna make it look as if I am trading blows. But I'm gonna let him hit me as hard as he can. While saying, "Oh shit, Jim," or whatever, at the very last second. Because I want to have so much leverage that it's not even funny.
Well, you're going to.
Yeah, you're going to have all the leverage.
Okay. Can someone just check for me? Is it rounded up or rounded down? Because...
Usually it's rounded down.
It's rounded up. It's rounded up.
Okay, yeah.
Because if you have 1,
Okay.
you have it and round it up to 1 again.
Okay, so as you lift your arms in this feigned expression of, oh shit, his fist comes round and dents your face with a solid crunch.
Oh my god.
3 points of superficial damage as you are sent sprawling onto your ass. And your legs hit the stone underfoot.
Any of you hunt again.
And you can hear the tearing of your fabrics as you just scuff over the ground. And Jim's just standing there over you with a fist pulled back, and you can taste the vitae in the back of your throat.
Let me do my manipulation plus subterfuge roll, because I wanna make him think that I was literally saying, "Oh my God, Jim."
So is that like a contested roll with?
Or is it performance?
It'd be performance.
No.
But
Okay,
not a
thank you. You just giving me 1 more dice.
That's fine.
Oh no, what?
And then it would be wits plus insight.
Just insight.
I have 5 successes.
Oh my god.
I have entirely hunger dice.
Oh my god.
That's 2.
I have 5 successes.
Okay. It's an entirely believable display. You feel like you've just socked a doe-eyed puppy across the room.
Could you?
Easily.
Now, from the floor, I go, "What the fuck? Why did you hit me? What are you doing in my room? I thought someone would go, get your pan out of my face. What the fuck are you doing here?"
Did you not receive my text?
Everything all right down there, darlings?
Everything's fine, Mr. Morovsky. Let me help you out.
I stand up on my own whenever he approaches, just shove him off. What the fuck are you doing here?
We have a much larger problem than I originally thought.
That does not answer my question. Why did you break into my room?
Answers.
What?
We have a problem with people who know who we are.
Again, for the last and final time, answer the question. What the fuck are you doing in my room, breaking in,
inside my computer after we've just had the worst couple of days ever. And then when I think someone broke in, you decide to smash me in the face clearly when I said, fuck, sorry, Jim. What is wrong with you?
You remember Lucy?
Yes.
I did?
Yes.
Same situation.
Uh-huh.
However, it's my Lucy.
Now, did I break into your fucking room? Did I assaulted you with no reason? Because at least I had one.
You hear me? My instant reaction is to hit back. My apologies, Moses.
That's not gonna cut it. My door is busted, and you're in the system.
Barely, you have a damn good system. Which kudos to you. And if you may have noticed, I'm trying to be careful.
Just leave. We'll talk once Katia arrives.
Go on. Breathe, Moses, and I walk out.
Step up the stairway and see Mrs. Morosky hovering by the door. She immediately looks at you as you step past, and then at your, fucked face, and kind of looks past you, and then steps over towards the doorway and just.
I just try to slam it, but he's gonna bounce back.
Almost catches her in the face, but.
Right. I'll leave you alone then.
Walks back over towards the counter, puts her knife back behind the counter, and sits back down.
And now
pretends to look at the newspaper. It'd be more convincing if it wasn't upside down when she was pretending not to notice. And then after he's kind of already clocked her, she kind of.
I just sit back now, and I go through the footage. I try to glimpse of what's going on.
Okay.
Who's there?
We'll say wits plus investigation. +1 because he's kind of already got the footage all together for you.
This was plus investigate. Well, that's okay. Wait. Wits plus investigation +1.
Yep.
That is not that good. That is only 4 successes. 3 successes. Only 3 successes.
Only 3?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is. There was almost count, but it's a 3, so it's okay. 3.
Watching through this footage, you start to piece together the one that he's looking at, the individual. You can't tell which of the two that he's tracking, but there's certainly one. And for a moment, you think maybe this is the stalker, but it doesn't actually look like the stalker. And you, in that brief glimpse of
the poacher.
No, the poacher. The moment that she kind of turns her face to the side, and you catch the glimpse of a girl that you don't know, but she doesn't look like the poacher that you witnessed before.
Yeah, the poacher is much younger, right?
However, do a intelligence plus awareness roll.
That's not great. Only 1 success.
Okay. The other individual that she's with is another female. You can tell that just based upon the figure of the individual walking with them. But you don't know who this girl is or why Jim's observing. You could probably hazard a guess.
So it's 2 girls.
Yeah. Making a track, but you do note they've always got their backs positioned to cameras.
Okay, I sort of draw a route from from the cross hands to the route they used all the way to the starting point of our domain where the last camera saw them when they left.
Okay.
And I'm gonna use that camera and I'm actually gonna start dragging all of the archive from that camera, because if you're going in and out, I want to know if they went in and out through the same route. That means they cased the area, found that camera, and said, well, if we walk with our backs to that camera, we can get all the way there. Oh, look. There's another camera, and it's not something knowing where every camera is in a specific route takes planning. There are 2 ways to do it. One, they have a snapshot of my diagram that is inside here, or 2, they've been doing it over a number of days. It is impossible to do that on the fly. They risk missing one. So I'm going to go on the archives for this one.
Okay.
For those cameras specifically, to see if I see similar patterns, because I'm looking for a fuck up.
Okay. Intelligence plus technology.
I assume my networks. Okay. It's only
look at that.
Only 6 successes with a critical win.
Okay, what exactly are you looking for?
Okay, basically, let me explain it. Moses' train of thought. You have a camera here, and someone who wants to avoid that camera. So they see the camera, and they're gonna walk with their backs to the camera and always like sideways.
Which is what they're appearing to do.
Yeah, but then they don't know where the next camera is unless they have cased the area. So you will find progressively deeper cameras after going the route. It's like, okay, I'm gonna avoid this one and see where's the next one, and see where's the next one, and see where's the next one. At any given point, someone on a bicycle or a car, a sound that might make them turn, any.
The only occasion where that occurs. Actually, no, you got a lot of successes. Okay, based upon what you can see, the younger one, the one with the blonde hair and the white hoodie, is being led by the other one. You can tell that just purely because the other one seems to be setting the pace. And as they're moving down these routes, it's quite clear that the older one is very well aware of where these cameras are, and they're going the routes anyway, but they've always got their back to it. It's almost like they're showing. It's like an act of defiance, almost. A kind of way of just saying, yes, we know you're there, but you can't tell jack shit. And it is very well done. The person, whichever one of them knows where these cameras are, almost doesn't slip, save for that one occasion where checking the road out of reflex to see whether or not a car's coming, that young girl with the blonde hair turns her head to the side, but you don't recognize her. However, with your 6 successes on your critical win, the other one does reveal who they are briefly, but you are not sure whether it's purposeful or not, and it's purely because of the way that they position themselves in a shop window as they go past and then glimpse towards the camera, and you recognize the woman that's in the company of this other young woman. You recognize the smile, you recognize the cut of the hair, you certainly recognize...
Come on, that's why I'm smiling. I mean, there's only one person who might know this.
I didn't wonder it at all. It's quite exciting.
It's Alicia, right?
It's Alicia.
the only person who would know all of the setup of the domain, and who would have a motive for getting Jim rattled.
But the way that she glimpses towards the camera, even in the reflection, it's almost as a final kind of full stop in the statement of, I know your security layout. But it's not kind of a fuck you expression she does, more of a kind of playful kind of your turn kind of expression. And then she walks away with...
Just a text message.
Okay.
Nice touch on the reflection. He'll go apeshit. I'll delete that frame. Kisses. And I will just... that angle from that camera, that goes back to archive.
Okay, awesome.
I encrypt it.
Okay.
Within my system.
Okay. For my sake, make a check for me.
Yep.
Intelligence plus technology plus networking. And this is the successes that need to be beaten to get into it. Well, need to be...
Oh, only 2 successes to get inside my server here. Okay. It's a basic encryption. Inside the archive. Don't worry about it, I'll take the archives. Eventually, at some point, I will take them to my other haven.
Okay. So, whilst you're doing this... Just remind me, because there's a lot been going on, where everybody currently is.
I was on my way to the Chantry.
You're on
He's
the way
being
to Chantry?
naughty.
I'm
He's
just
being
taking
naughty?
a brief cruise through Cricklewood. That's all. Just a cruise.
Where did Jim go?
Jim's on the roof.
Okay.
And his brooding spot.
Okay. Katia, as you are making your way back towards the Chantry, there is a kind of long moment on the public transport, filled though it is with people that are leaving to and from work, going out, socializing, going wherever they need to do. It gives you a long enough time to ponder what has been shared with you. But before you've managed to contemplate it fully, you do arrive close to where the Chantry is, and you make your way there. You do your quick check just to ensure that there's no one around that might recognize you. There isn't. You do a double check just in case, just out of reflex, and then you step up into the Chantry. What's your aim?
Katia is giving herself 1 hour to do 3 things.
Okay.
Firstly, she would like to head towards the library,
Okay.
where she would like to research 2 things. One of which she wants to do while she's there, because she doesn't believe if she can even access them, she doesn't believe that such books should really be taken off the premises. She wants to see if she can learn any more about what she's heard about these Sabat Nosferatu,
Okay.
based on the descriptions given to her by Moses. And this is what she wants to essentially be like skim reading more than anything. She's not going for a proper study session because she hasn't got enough time,
Okay.
but she wants to essentially start some research.
Are you going to try and look at factual accounts, or are you going to try and look at hearsay? What kind of texts are you going to look at?
Ideally, she'd like to read actual accounts, like as factual as she can find, like accounts of like witnesses or any information on maybe captured Sabat in the past. But she won't go further than her clearance would allow her to at this point.
Okay.
Basically, anything that would be available for her at her level 2 research.
Well, going into the library, it is empty at this point, or it seems to be empty. You move in and you begin looking over the books. You can hear a from above you, and as you kind of glance up, you can see the briefest of red reflections, almost of like light touching something that seems to be observing you, and you look down. When you look back up, it's not there anymore. But you could hazard a guess of what it was, and then you pour back over to your book. So I need an intelligence plus investigation
Not
check
a cult.
Yeah, we'll say a cult. We'll say a cult. I'm feeling generous.
So generous. 1, 2, 3, 4 successes.
Okay. The Tremere in London have a decent amount of information, given that they were instrumental in tracking down and eliminating some of the other Sabat cells in London during the Blitz, or the period of the Blitz. And one of the things that they note, that these individuals, who are often called creeps within their own slang, they maintain some sort of relationship with the Camarilla Nosferatu. It's not exactly amicable, but it's less overtly hostile than it is to other people. It's uncertain whether or not the Nosferatu that still reside in the city had that level of relationship with the Nosferatu, or whether or not they still do, or whatever it is. It's suggested that they're worth noting just in case. There are a few mentions to particular havens that used to be there that were destroyed during the Blitz by the Kindred and masqueraded as damage from the Blitz. There was a few warehouses that are no longer there anymore, and there is an area that is very close to where Hyde Park is, but far underground, that was also destroyed. It was routed out, and a number of Kindred lost their lives in destroying the Warren. But whether or not there are any Sabat Nosferatu still in the city, it's not clear. It is noted in the account that one of the things that you pick up on, just purely because as you're flicking, how many successes did you get?
4.
4, okay. One of the names that does leap out on you, because this is a first-hand account from the Regent. One of the names that does leap out onto you. 2 kindred were involved in the eradication of the area towards the south of London. 2 names that you recognise: Sabine and Edmund Sinclair.
Oh yeah.
The actual details of what they did and where they had to go and what they had to do are not documented. The names are noted.
Okay, interesting. All right. Okay, the second thing she wishes to do is she wishes to find a book that might have some accounts of true faith, its capabilities, and that's a book she wants to, I guess, take out. Because if it's almost... Because something that about like faith might sound a bit less obvious than discussing vampire havens in London.
You do manage to get, it's quite dated accounts at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, the Tremere don't put an awful lot of stock in the idea of true faith. And the kindred that are the ones that are penning most of these archives, is whether they're still in the city or not.
Yeah.
Certainly don't. It sounds very much a kind of slander piece based upon the idea that anybody that believes in this is an idiot, but not quite so blunt. More in a kind of, here are the reasons why it doesn't work. And they go into study of the various kind of supernatural stigma associated between vampires and true faith and the beliefs therein and how it's been proven wrong. But then it also goes into the rushed, to your liking, kind of summaries of accounts that some people have given about experiences with individuals with true faith.
Okay.
But
she'd probably take that one with her.
yeah, okay.
So she can have a more thorough read of it later, because she hasn't given herself a huge amount of time. And the last thing she wanted to do while she was here, and bear in mind, she's kind of keeping her eyes open just in case she is to cross paths with Will at any point, because obviously her old mobile was taken by Beefy and probably broken or like isn't basically available anymore.
Okay.
So she's gonna open communication lines with her. They're gonna have to bump into each other haphazardly at some point.
Okay, so you're lingering just in case she shows.
She's keeping an eye open, yeah, but she's not. It's not like she's hanging around purposely for that.
Okay.
But on her way out, she does want to find where some blood is stored, possibly, and just have a quick feed because she's pretty hungry.
Okay. It's difficult for you to. It's difficult for you to go through all these books, not only because it's kind of. It's clear what books you're not to touch.
Yeah.
But it's. Or the other books that you are allowed to touch, there are some that are more frowned upon than others, just purely because they are personal accounts.
Yeah.
So it takes you a bit longer to go through these accountings than perhaps you'd hoped.
Mm-hmm.
And by the time you've managed to finish these off, unless you were planning to make the rounds in the Chantry, it's probably difficult for you to try and bump into Will. So you begin making your way.
That was like a side thing, yeah.
Yeah, but you begin making your way. There's very few Tremere that you see in at the moment. Most of them are probably out either feeding or doing clan business. And any of the higher ups in the clan are more likely to be within the Chantry. And you begin making your way out, but you stop by one of the storage areas that have blood. It's not as nourishing as feeding direct from the source, but going through enough of these vials in a way that is eerily reminiscent of one of your first times doing so, you manage to go through enough that you can heal 1 blood point. 1 hunger, sorry.
Okay.
Where do you plan on going afterwards?
After she's finished there, she is going to head back to the Crossed Hands.
Okay.
And she will let Benjamin know that she's on her way back.
Okay. So you send a text saying?
Heading home now will be however long it usually takes to get between the Chantry and Crossed Hands.
Okay, so you'll receive this text message. You begin making your way towards Cricklewood, and this is not an area that you're particularly well adjusted to, but you are memorising it with every sweep. You're almost expecting to see that car. You know she lives around here. You're going to see it somewhere. Are you going with your allspecs up?
No. I have the address, so if I need to, I'll pull over and check a map.
Okay.
But and if I do pull over at any point, I will say to Katia, also on my way back, we'll see you soonish or something. We'll see you soon.
Okay. Are you going slow, or are you just trying to get there as quickly as you can?
I'm not going especially fast. I'm not.
Are you
to
trying
be honest,
to be subtle?
Yes, I am absolutely trying to be subtle. I am not trying to look for red cars at this point. I know her address. I don't care about the red car unless it's like driving the opposite way on the road. You know.
Okay, we'll say dexterity plus drive.
Okay. 2 successes.
Fuck you, dice. You make your way over towards Cricklewood. It's an area that feels alien, but that's almost because it's her area. And as you pull up to go and check your map again, you come to the realization that you've actually brought yourself there without realizing how quickly and efficiently you managed to get there. And as you look up from the map that you've got in your car, you glance over towards one of the buildings that's off further down the road, and you can see just the telltale end of that car. And observing it as you are, as a car swings past and its lights hit it, you see that distinctive red colouring, and the very end of that number plate, and you know it's her car.
Okay, so I will just. I'm going to make sure I'm not going to drive like opposite the house or anything. I want to be far back from the house.
Yeah, you're further down the street.
I'll stop the car. I will use my heightened senses to see better, and I will take in the details of the house.
Okay. It's a flat that's basically shared between other people, but based upon from the outside, it's not a really tall one. You're talking maybe 4 floors. It's hard for you to gauge without going closer where she resides on there. Her car is up on the edge of the street.
I've got the address. Assumedly, I've got the flat number.
Yeah, it's number 4.
So I'm assuming, does it look like it's a flat per level?
More like multiple flats per level.
Oh, okay, right. So yeah, so I can. It's not.
Yeah, there's extra rooms. It's probably not like.
Yeah. Okay. And does it look like there's this kind of main entrance into the flats?
Yeah.
Okay, so once I've ascertained that, I'm gonna think, what am I doing? And I'm not going to drive directly past the flats. I'll turn the car around.
Okay.
And then as I'm leaving, I might accidentally happen to go around the road that goes back on the other side of the flats, just to see if there's a back entrance. Oh, it's like, well, I had to turn around to go back to the Haven anyway, right? So this was sort of a normal, it makes sense.
You're trying to find a rear entrance.
Just to see if there is one, as I'm here now anyway.
Going around the far side, there isn't. There's an area where the bins are collected.
But you have to go in through the front.
Yeah, you need to go in through the front.
Okay. And then I will actually go home.
Okay.
Oh, that just all came over me.
Okay. Do wits plus awareness.
Okay.
She's going to take you out.
Just one.
Just one?
I'm gonna tell you. Well, I don't know. I'm making this roll, though. I'm not looking for anything in particular. As in, there's nothing that's making me make this roll. But I'm
assuming that you're still observing the house.
Oh, I'll spend a willpower. Goddammit.
Okay.
I'll spend a willpower. 2.
2.
Yeah.
She's watching.
Okay. You begin driving off, and then you slow, not of your own accord, when you realise that there is movement from the front of the house. And originally you think that it's just individuals coming out, but then you notice that telltale ponytail, and you slow inadvertently as you see Edmund coming out of the building with a coat on, and he turns around to her.
Hang on, aren't I at the back of the flats?
No, as you've gone around to the back, you were coming away.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So as you've gone, as you've gone back round, just as you've passed by the flats, and you're looking back towards it. You see him stepping out of the building, and as he turns back to her, he smiles, leans in, and he seems to either kiss her on the cheek or whisper something. And then as he steps away, he moves over towards the car, just taps it once, almost affectionately, like you would smiles at her, and then turns and begins walking down the street away. And she watches him go for a long moment, right up until he turns the corner, and then she puts her hands in her pocket without shoes on, you realise, just purely because of the way she's kind of trading between feet, and then just turns around and starts making her way back towards the flat.
taunting me. I'm going to go home.
Okay.
I'm going to go home.
Just go home, man. Just go home.
I'm going to go home.
Me taunting you? Okay.
I've got what I came for.
Okay.
I'm going to go back to the crossed hands.
Okay. So, you start making your way back. It's gonna take you a while to get back. Not only because you're not exactly the most efficient in your driving at the moment with that image etched, but also because you are on the other side of London.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Jim, from atop your perch, your usual Jim perch, you are surveying these streets and you're mapping them out in your head, this route that these two girls must have taken. You can almost see it, almost like you are observing through your own lens the pathways they would have taken. What do you want to do?
At the moment, Jim's going to spend a bit of time just keeping a lookout from the haven, just stewing.
Okay.
Just kind of keep a lookout from the top of the haven and keep a bit of an eye on the street.
Okay. Nothing else you want to do?
In this current moment in time.
Okay.
No.
Are you sure?
Jim's going to send a message to the detective sergeant.
Oh, okay. Saying what?
Can we meet?
Fuck's sake, Jim.
Everyone's favourite pissed off police officer.
Poor guy.
They should have their own sitcom. Just making sure I don't say the wrong name here.
Yes, James Richardson.
Yep, that's it. You message him?
Yep.
Okay. What?
It's not even a text, it's a voicemail, and that's all it plays.
I love how much you get feeling into that text message.
I'll buy you a drink. Or two.
Where?
Three-legged cat.
Three-legged cat.
When?
When are you free?
1 hour. Have them ready.
Sure.
What do you want to do? Go just straight there, or are you going to linger?
No, Jim's gonna linger for the next maybe 35 minutes on the haven before travelling down there.
Okay. What do you want to do?
I'm waiting for Alice.
Okay.
Also, I'm creating a lot of evidence against Jim, so when Katia arrives, I can tell her whatever I want. I mean, right now, I'm in Nosferatu paradise. I'm sitting in front of a computer, waiting for my Bruya BFF, and piling up a lot of I am not guilty information. Come on.
It takes you a good another 20 minutes or so just sat there, kind of. You're uncomfortably aware that every time that you hear a noise in turn you expect to see your Foggy is not Foggy. Instead it is one of the rats that was caught and then kind of escaped through the traps that were laid pretty poorly. So
I'm waiting for either Katia or Alice, whomever shows first.
You can still hear movement from upstairs, Mrs. Morovsky going back and forth. But then as she goes away the final time you can hear a muffled voice and then a distinctive voice answering it that you realise to be Alice's. Then you hear the and then she turns the corner.
Mm-hmm. She comes in. My face is probably a bloody mess.
What the fuck? What is this?
Jim.
Jim did that.
Show her what's still there. Apparently, one of these two girls is very special to him in the way Lucy is special to me. So he probably was looking, because look at this, like this is these girls here in the lobby. So probably they were here. He said that there was something like very, like bad news. This is worse than we expected or whatever. So this makes me think that they have been looking for him. I don't have the whole details. My problem is, look at the door. Broke the lock. He broke in.
She peers up the stairs.
Sorry?
She peers up the stairs. Kind of redundant. She walked through it, but she does it anyway.
Like, he broke in to go there. Probably he was desperate enough that instead of calling me because I didn't spend the night here, he decided to jump in. Problem is, I've been skittish as fuck. So when I saw that someone was here, yes, I'm gonna lie to her.
That's what, yeah, I'm assuming so.
Don't worry about it. I know.
Wow, Moses being a little bitch tonight.
Yeah.
Hey, you're not off the hook either.
Nah.
Okay.
So I just smashed his face with my helmet.
Right.
No, and I showed the helmet. Like, I literally smashed his face.
And then he punched you in the jaw. Or in the nose.
Well, yeah.
I would have done worse, Moses. You're fucking lucky.
Yeah. Thing is,
Why, if you want to know about these people, why don't you fucking ask him?
I don't want to know. I didn't even know they have been here. My issue is he broke in and went through the whole files and everything instead of calling me first.
Didn't you break into your coterie-mate's room as well? You were
No.
telling me, yeah. I think you told me you did.
No. That's different.
Really?
Because he was feeling... I mean, we've been a
She
coterie
leans
for
against
like...
the counter.
This is what I love, because she knows I'm full of shit.
It's the Gino-
But it's
Gino
okay.
Walker.
I will do my best to show my friend that I am indeed full of shit, but not that much. Benjamin was really shook after everything. We were introduced, and then we met Deacon, and then like there were a lot of things. The blood hunt. He's been a vampire. Well, he had been a vampire for like 3 weeks or something. Like he's like fairly new, or 2 months, fairly new. So he was very shaken. I have it on video. Speaking of video, no, wait.
Or it sounds like he was really shaken as well from the sounds of it if he broke into your room. So...
Because that's not the first time that Jim acts without thinking. Let me show you something. Don't give me that look.
She leans back.
I really want to chat up Alice now.
Come on, Alice, don't give me that look. I mean... I just go flare up the beginning of Tyler's video. I'm not gonna show her how he dies.
Okay.
Tyler coming in, me talking to him, having a conversation, trying to make a dialogue, and then him saying something to Jim, Jim pushing him all the way to the wall, going with the claws, me trying to separate them, and then I pause it.
Okay.
Whenever I do this, is where I pause it, because I know that's when the door is opening and the constable is coming in.
She watches. She doesn't make a comment. But any facade that she had of jovialness is gone. Can you make a copy of this? Why not?
The full thing? Including
This, what you're showing me.
What comes next, including?
Yeah.
Yeah, you want to show it to Deacon, right?
Yeah.
Also, I'm full of good gestures tonight.
She looks at your helmet.
Great gesture.
Here. That's a picture of the three Nosferatus The hairy one is the one who killed Foggy, but look at the other one to his left. Those are bones. And he's not deformed, he was shaped. I had shown that picture to Plucky Jake and to the constable. The constable did not say a peep, but Plucky Jake, he definitely wanted this information taken to the constable. He saw something with those spikes. I mean, I was basically impaled on those while he saw the friend put a stake through my heart.
Okay.
So not only the word canite, but that. I've never heard of seen any of that in any Camarilla Nosferatu I've ever encountered. Not even the Anarchs I've encountered. So take that to Deacon as well. And I just probably, I'm gonna make it high tech. I'm gonna burn a CD.
Oh man, I want to see this.
If she could blush.
Okay. I'm gonna burn a CD with a video.
Okay.
Actually, DVD burn? No.
Steady.
I'm gonna burn a CD.
There's only one fucker that can do at a time syncing, and that's Plucky Jake.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna burn a CD with it, so she can watch it in any.
She takes it, folds the paper around
And the
it,
video
puts it in her jacket.
and the picture. So there's another moment in which, well, our dear Jim thought, like acted before he thought. Remember the fire, the time of the arsons? We had one here in the Haven, of course, but remember there was a fire a couple of days earlier in this and such area.
Yeah.
And then what person had died in that arson?
Jim?
No, I started that fire.
What the fuck, Moses?
Because I needed to cover up for Jim breaching the Masquerade and pulling his teeth through somebody else's skull, and then I had to go and steal the skull.
You cover up a murder with arson?
Well, gunshots and a lot of people watching.
Gunshots, murder, and arson?
Yeah. It seemed like the lesser of three evils.
You're lucky I like you, Moses.
I have no idea.
I hate idiots.
I have no idea what to do. He called me literally after shots had been fired and the body was there and there was a lot of people around and the police were like literally outside.
If I could still have fucking migraines, I'd be having a fucking field day with you right now.
So what I did was start the fire while he ran out in one direction, I ran in the other, and then I snuck into the police station and swapped the skulls.
Why?
Because then that's why when he told me that actually the guy he killed it by biting his skull in a very, very kindred-like manner. And they had forensic evidence. I had to go into the system, had to delete files. Actually,
who knows about this?
no one, just you.
Oh, fuck's sake.
I have been preventing breach after breach of the Masquerade in my coterie. Not a couple of weeks after that, I think it was a couple of days after that. Remember the fire alarm in the hospital right down there? There was no fire, but everybody was on edge because there had been many fires.
What is it with you guys and fire?
I was sitting here, and then I got the call. Well, actually the one on the hospital was quite clever. There was no fire, only fire alarm. But every single alarm I had triggered. Because I have the whole domain wired. And the moment there is a huge, like a fire, and the fire brigade is being alerted, I have them on the police scanner. And that doesn't even get to my my breach of the Masquerade.
Can I come in and shut you up now, please? This is hurting me in my soul.
Yeah. Like, one of Tyler's thin blood friends decided to stab the ghoul of our Tremere in the McDonald's in front of me. I mean, and it was all like, I'm just showing her how frustrated I am of every single fuck up. And
how frustrated you're feeling is mirrored on her face.
Yeah. Okay. So. I've had it. I'm gonna charge for this shit. Every time they fuck up, I'm gonna charge something. I'm getting something. I'm getting boons, left, right, and center. I'm getting some. I need, like, what do I do on this?
You're asking me?
The prince made it abundantly clear that the fate of one is the fate of all.
Stop fucking up!
I cannot control them. Especially not the... Well, he's not trigger happy, but he's feisty happy gangrel that gets his claws on a venture just because he mentioned his sire. What do I do?
It's like living with a 4-year-old again. Oh shit.
See why I've been fucking up at every time? I chose to dance for Michael Chase to avoid him being interested on another member of my coterie, one who would snap just if Michael Chase decided to laugh in his general direction. Like, trust me, when I'm telling you, me exposing myself in front of Michael Chase was the lesser of two evils. It was.
She goes up to you and she hugs you, almost in a kind of to stop you from talking way. But it's there where she's sharing your exasperation, and then she lets you go and she just turns around and starts walking.
Wait.
What? Seriously,
X
another.
I just circle an X and an arrow. What you came here for, the maps of where we were. This is where we exited. Maps to Reading. Our exit. Because I have all of those maps because I have been building Plucky Jake's report. So I just do that, like one of the printouts, the route, the exit route.
Okay.
Nothing on the warrants.
You're giving her nothing on the warrants.
Nothing on the warrants, but I do tell her. Those connect to Nosferatu tunnels. That's why I didn't mention it to Deacon.
Okay.
And that's why I'm saying those are labyrinths, because they are.
So these tunnels, and she points at the ones on the paper,
are service lines, sewers, things that you can go through. But...
So how do I get to the tunnels? Moses, how do I get to the tunnels? Either I wander around in the dark for fucking weeks, or
it's gonna be weeks. So listen carefully, and I grab the paper and go like, my best assessment, like the last time we came out, it was in this direction, and we were working like for a couple of hours. We never made a turn. There is an old door. Now, mind you, there is a very skittish, half misshapen Nosferatu there. Someone lives there, but that is away from the actual proper tunnels.
I feel like you've described half of your clan.
This guy has half of his body is like swollen and pulled back, and the other one's like shrunk. He's hunched. His tongue is completely deformed. He's like missing a piece. He's like, poor guy. He took a shining to Benjamin.
The artist?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know, but he cut a little bit of his hair.
Okay, that's weird.
And ate it. And then Benjamin, they are hair bros. You will there is an easy thing you will recognize him for. He has, like a pin in his lapel. It's like a quite smart jacket, very small for his size, broken, like torn in the back, and he has like a pin, and it's actually like a thumb. No, not like a thumb. It's a thumb. It's Benjamin's thumb. He cut his thumb because of that Nosferatu. Is that I have that picture that I gave you.
So you're telling me he'll help me if I give him a thumb?
I'm telling you, if you find him, I call him Thimble. If you find Thimble, don't hurt him.
If he tries to take my fucking thumb, I'm gonna hurt him.
Oh yeah. But he's most likely. He's like a lost puppy that hasn't seen a family in a long, long time. He's gonna ask you to approach, and he will do like Foggy used to, when he was like.
No offense, Moses, but Foggy was a little bit more cute than a Nosferatu. If a Nosferatu tries to wean between my legs, I'm gonna kick the living shit into him.
Just don't ash them.
I'm not gonna ash him. I'm not that kind of a bitch. But I'm not letting him take a thumb.
If you get there, know that you are in the entrance of the labyrinth, the proper warrens, or the exit, or however you want to see it. And from then in, do not go. Alice, I am being serious. It is a maze. We had a guide and we spent days there. You can end up in torpor for all I know. There's no one that can help you once you're inside. Also, our artist seems to think there is like a boogeyman in there. And when I say a boogeyman, it's like a proper horror story. There is something in those tunnels.
Yes, Sabat, I'm hoping. Otherwise, I'm like wasting a shitload of time.
Please try not. If you find them, just come back. Bring the news. Don't do anything that can put you at risk. Please. Please. Like, I don't want you to be hurt because I chose.
You're worried about me?
Yes. Because you're going back there. I just escaped there. I just came back from there yesterday. Please.
Fine.
If anything happens and you're above ground or about to go in, just let me know.
What, over the phone?
Just say you're going to dance or whatever.
Okay.
Okay. And I just hug her. And I whisper to her, be careful.
I'll be fine.
I cannot lose you.
Well, I'd say the same thing, but you're doing that for me.
It's okay. Katia will sort Jim out. She always does.
Clearly.
I promise Katia will sort it out.
Clearly. If you're going to start charging for this stuff, I want to cut.
High five.
I'm not joking.
Yeah. You've been asking for a cut since you told me to study in Duluth. Come on, girl.
Right. Yeah, anything else?
Anything you need, just let me know. If I remember anything, I'll call you. But I think I've given you enough.
Okay.
I think I gave you all I had.
Okay, quick question. The woman that's at the top of the stairs. The nosy bitch. Who the fuck's that?
Mrs. Murawski?
Yeah, the one that's like stood up on the landing now.
Yeah, she's the landlady.
Okay.
And she's concerned because she heard the scuffle earlier between Roy and Jonah. Watch out. She doesn't know her.
I thought you killed Jonah.
She doesn't know I killed Jonah. And I haven't finished getting my new identity completely cleared out. Noah Miller, with all the documents and the purchase order and the transfer. So, she needs to be informed that new management is coming. But I need the paperwork. So when I finish that, she will know don't want to die.
Right. Okay. Well,
Just
that's a
pretend
lot
that
to
you're-
digest before I've
Yeah.
eaten.
Sorry.
That's a lot to digest before I've eaten.
Just pretend that you're like my girlfriend when you're on your way out, so she will stop snooping around whenever you come.
Funny how you always leap to that excuse.
Well, it's
I
fun.
will see you. Fuck you, Moses. She starts going up the stairs. Shuts the door.
And when
without-
she's up,
Alright.
I love you too.
You can almost hear the flipping off as she marches down the stairs. And then she's gone.
Okay. And then I just sit down and went for Katia while I just fabricate more evidence against him.
Okay. So by the time it's taken you to kind of do your research, the time it's taken for you to drive back, you would have gotten in roughly about 10 minutes apart. Depending on how thorough you were being with your accounts, you probably would have gone back first. The accounts are old.
Yeah.
And it's not the kind of thing you flip through. You have to be very careful with these kind of these pages. So you probably would have arrived just before Katia did.
Okay. So I probably won't be aware that. Well, actually, I am quite observant of. It's Jim like Batmaning it up on the roof.
At this point, no.
Okay.
At this point, he wouldn't be on the roof. We'll speak to him in a minute.
Because the thing that I'm going to do when I get back is look. Do you remember there was some sessions back? I caught a glimpse of someone watching from the window. A mysterious figure as I was driving away, and it freaked me out.
Okay.
I'm going to check that window to see if they're back in it, and if they're not, before I go back into the cross hands.
Wits plus awareness.
Come on, all those dice.
I know. 3 or 4.
4?
Yeah.
Okay. You peer up into the window, and then over to the next one, and make a slow circuit with your eyes around to the windows. And you almost expect to see the silhouette there. And once or twice, every time there's a movement, you realise, before your brain kind of panics, that it's just like the gleaming of a mirror or something on the wall that kind of catches it. And there is no one up there.
Okay, so in that case, I'll text Katia to say that I'm back, and while I'm waiting for her, I will probably go up to my room and carry on working on my painting.
Okay. So you'd head up. This would be after Alice has already left.
Yeah.
So you'll head up. Katia will arrive not too much too long afterwards. So you would arrive back at the Haven. Alice has already left. Mrs. Morovsky is still going back and forth very occasionally. As soon as you come back in, she makes a beeline back for a chair and sits back down. Tries to make her look as innocent as she can. Offers you a smile and a nod. She has the paper the right way up this time.
Evening. And
Evening, Katia.
she'll make to head upstairs and knock on Benjamin's door.
Okay.
So I'll be looking at my painting.
Okay.
It was looking alright, yeah? It was
Yeah.
getting quite promising.
Yeah, it was quite nice. But as you're picking up the paintbrush and you're about to start,
Oh, hello, yes, who is it?
It's me.
Oh, come in, I'll go and open the door.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, I'll put something over the painting first,
Okay.
and then I'll open the door.
okay.
So, thank you for coming in. Is everything all right?
Yes. It was fine.
Oh, good. That's
Just an update.
that's good. Do you think Jim is going to be all right? I've not really seen him like that before. It was very odd. Do you don't have a gravestone somewhere, do you?
No. The whole feigning death thing seemed a little bit over the top for me.
Right. Good. So
But then our Jim is never one to hold back.
no. So the thing that I wanted to talk to you about is, do you remember I saw that creature?
Yes.
And I've talked to other people about this. Obviously, we spoke with Sabine, and I've spoken to Edmund, and I've spoken to, and no one else believes me. None of them do, but you. Even Edmund doesn't seem to care about them, about the monster.
I'm sure Edmund believes you. He probably just doesn't care.
Yes, and well, I've been thinking about it quite a lot, and I didn't really get the chance to tell you this because you were all out hunting.
Yeah, sorry, it's been quite busy.
But last night, when I went to the gallery, I thought I saw... Do you remember I said there was someone that has been following me, but I can't remember their face? I saw them. I mean, I was very close. I literally... But it was strange because as I looked at them, it was like their face sort of just melted away. I could see them in front of me, but anyway, after a few moments, I realised that it wasn't them at all. It was a man. He was sleeping rough outside, and we had anyway. But that doesn't matter. What the important thing is I think what was happening was I think I was having another one of those visions that I've had.
Right.
I think that what I was seeing is something that's going to happen. I think at some point they're going to be there. They're going to be there. And I don't know if I can't remember if I told you, but some time ago, we hadn't been at the Crosstowns that long. Certainly, we hadn't repaired the damage from the fire by this point.
Right.
I saw that figure in one of the windows, looking down. But of course, they're not here. I haven't seen them since, and I've been very vigilant. I think they're coming. I think that's what I'm realising. They are coming here, and I think if I tell the others, they'll just think I'm being ridiculous. But I was wondering if we know that they're coming, is there something we could do, to prepare ourselves for them coming? Because I'm quite worried about it, as you can understand.
Well, we have quite thorough security measures around the Crossed Hands. If it would make you feel better, we could get Moses to check the footage, and if there's someone who reoccurs...
Yes, no, we don't need to check the footage.
No.
We need to put a camera in the room where I saw them, because we know where they're going to be.
But surely if they're inside the building, by that point it's too late.
Oh, no, because if there's a particular room they're going to take, we can observe that room. We'll know which room they're going to go to. We could catch them, couldn't we? And
there is a room on the upper levels that I would also be interested in some camera equipment being installed in. I wonder, it probably isn't the same one because you say it was a hallway window.
Was it one of the rooms on one of the floors up where they were watching me? Do I know?
Yeah, it's the one facing the front. Because you cross the street to get to your car, and it was one of the ones on the upper floor, just looking down.
I'll say it's one of the rooms on the upper floor that looks out onto the street. You see, because I was pulling away my car when I saw it.
I see. The room which had the stack of dead creatures, was that shuttered and dark? Did it?
Yeah, a couple of rooms along from. It has windows, but it's not the same face.
Right. Okay. All right. Well, I'm all for it. Of course, there's no reason not to. If someone could be intruding into our haven.
I mean, obviously, I don't know when this is. I don't know if it's already happened or whether it's going to happen soon. But at the time, I just assumed it was them. But now, given what's happened with that vision that I had down in the tunnels, I realised that maybe I hadn't really seen them at all in the moment. Maybe I saw something, a warning. Do you see? Like I had a warning in the tunnels.
I still feel that if we get footage of them in that room, then it's probably too late. Because it means they'll already be inside the haven. Surely you want to prevent them entering the haven if you're worried about them.
Well, yes, but I don't see how to do that. How can I stop them? I don't even know what they look like. That's the thing, you can't...
That's true. Have you seen them anywhere else, or do you think they might appear anywhere else that might not be inside our haven where we could also set up a camera?
Well, let me think. Yes. Now, this is a question to the DST that I don't know. There was a crowd scene I painted where they intruded, as they often did, but I don't know if I painted that within the domain or outside the domain.
I believe the recent crowd scene.
The one with Edmund in the middle.
That was exterior of domain because that was closer to where the gallery was.
Yeah. I'll say, well, there is another place where I think they were, but it's not in the domain.
Nowhere inside the domain?
No.
Right. Well...
But I know exactly where it was, if that helps.
For now, we should set up that camera in the room. It's better than nothing.
Yes.
And I'll keep a weather eye out.
Well, maybe I should go and speak to Moses then. Did you know if he's back?
I don't know. I came up straight up to see you. Shall we?
Thank you.
Shall we?
Yes. Why not? Why not?
Though, word it carefully. You know how he reacts to anything a little ghostly.
All right. Yes. So not ghostly. Oh,
Don't
right.
describe it as if it's a ghost.
No. I won't. I don't. I'm fairly sure that they're not a ghost. I mean, fairly sure. But I don't think they're a ghost.
All right. Okay.
I'm not certain.
Well, either way, that's good. I want to catch up with Moses anyway.
Right.
Okay, so you start making your way down the stairs. Moses, you're still there with your... moment of elation that comes with any kind of interaction with Alice, coupled with the lingering pain of the soccer punch that you took, and the broken nose, the slightly dented cheekbones. Yes. Most people couldn't really say you look worse, but
Alice could tell.
Alice could tell.
Yeah.
And you can hear footsteps approaching. And again, initially you think, Mrs. Morosky, fuck off. But it's not Mrs. Morosky because there's 2 sets of footsteps. There's no knock on
2 sets. I am assuming Katia and Jim. I just stay outside, let them knock. You will realize the door has been broken into and the lock is broken.
Oh my goodness.
I open the door.
Okay. On the other side of it?
I am just sitting facing the door.
So you're facing us?
Yeah.
Yep, with a bloodied face, or a dented face rather, is Moses.
Oh my goodness.
What happened?
Someone broke into my room.
Do you know who?
Yeah, well, I saw someone sitting in front of my computer.
Is it okay if we come in?
Yeah, sure.
Presumably the same person who painted your face.
Yeah, well, I see an intruder in my room. What do you think I did? I smashed his face with my helmet.
Oh, yes. You hit them with your helmet.
And they hit me back.
Handkerchief?
No need. It wouldn't suck as much if it wasn't part of my coterie.
Right. I see.
What?
Can you elaborate a little bit?
I would love to, but there is I asked Jim why did he break into my room, broke the lock, and went into my things.
Your things, what exactly did he do?
Well, actually, he went into the computer, and I've been sitting here. Alice came, but he was checking on the footage.
What was he looking for on the footage?
Apparently, 2 people that came here at some point, and he's saying that it's like a matter that is more serious than I imagined. I do not care.
I thought after certain previous incidents involving unscheduled entry into people's rooms and
I know,
broken
right?
glass,
I
we had
know.
a discussion and we all agreed that we wouldn't do this anymore.
How many
because
more
it's very
times?
stressful.
How many more times have I gone uninvited to your room?
I wasn't actually there, so I didn't make this agreement, but I would never break into one of your rooms.
And I have only broken once because he was depressed.
What?
Well, you were shaken after the whole
yes,
thing.
yes, that's true. Yes, that's true.
I haven't done it since, but Jim is...
I text Jim in the basement, flat meeting.
So I don't care about them. I want to understand why he would choose to break in and do that if he needed me, because he also texted me.
Because he's an impulsive twerp sometimes.
No, he's an impulsive twat. That's what he is.
Fine.
And it's not the first time we have to deal with those consequences.
Well, in that case, I would like to present a counterpoint that you do care about who those 2 people are, because they're the ones who keep provoking these behavioural outbursts. Therefore, they are definitely worth
I don't
worrying
remember
about.
seeing them when he killed Stephen.
Sorry, one.
Bang to the skull. I mean, he cannot be using his impulsiveness as an excuse every time, Katia. I'm sorry.
Can I just check?
Yeah.
Because I have quite an imagination, and I'm imagining that this is. Are things all right between you and Jim? I mean, if he comes down, is there going to be further violence? I mean,
now, Because there's a no contest. He clearly wants to kick my face.
What?
Because after I hit him and I said, "Oh shit, I'm sorry, Jin," he clocked me.
No, I
as hard as he could.
No. Listen, I'm sorry.
This was revenge.
This must be very traumatic. What I mean is there going to be more violence? That's what I mean. Are we all right?
It would be no contest. He will kick my ass. The reason I hit him is because he didn't see me coming.
He's not a complete, and I mean he's not a complete idiot. He knows if he comes down here, starts a full-blown fight, then we will report him. And if he's going rogue and attacking other kindred, then he's clearly not worth having around as a.
All right. So I'm just clarifying that we're going to have a discussion. That's all.
No. You were going to have a discussion.
No, you're part of this.
I'm just going to sit here.
You just said you were part of this coterie. We're having it in here.
Okay.
This is the most secure part of the building.
It
was.
Thanks to someone very impulsive.
Well, I'm sure
I expect that fixed.
Oh, naturally, yes. That's clearly
by tomorrow.
Oh.
I also want a dirt bike.
So does that mean that if we break something, let's say that belongs to one other member of the coterie, that we would have to pay for the restoration? Is that what we're establishing as precedent?
Yes. Why do you think I haven't really allowed any of you into my room before?
Oh, right. Oh, no, fabulous. I think I've still got the receipts. Wonderful.
Yes, exactly.
All right, good.
So, I think you underestimate. I have a lot of expensive stuff in my room.
No, I wouldn't dream of.
No, it's okay. And I'm trying to fix my cheekbone because I'm smirking because I know what he's referring to. I was like,
some of those records are signed.
It's okay.
Of course. No,
don't worry about it.
Collection's very important.
Like no one's gonna touch your stuff. Don't worry about it.
That's fine.
I mean, unless Jim finds it impulsively appropriate. Like I really don't care if Jim drops by and we're saying that. Like I am trying to make it as much as a poor old Moses got attacked by Jim, as possible.
Unfortunately, he won't, because he's not there at the moment. He's gone off to the black cat.
Three-legged cat. We went to the three-legged cat. So
you've gone off to the three-legged cat after the hour, and when you arrive, there is no sign of your oh so enthusiastic companion. You take a seat. I'm assuming you're getting drinks in.
I'll get the first drink ready.
Yeah, first. And as you begin waiting, you glance over the door just as it opens.
And I'm blushing.
He's just embarrassed.
Oh fuck.
He blushes because he rolled a 1.
And the detective sergeant steps through the door after a good 10 to 12 minutes of you waiting after getting the drinks. And he looks around. He's currently in his civilian clothing. Glances around, clocks you, sighs, and makes his way over. Takes a seat, reaches across the table and grabs both drinks. What?
My sister.
What about her?
I think she's in trouble.
And you're telling me this instead of the police using the normal method? Why?
Because I know out of all, you'll be discreet.
Because my job's on the fucking line normally. Why? What's gone on? Because last time I stuck my neck out for you, I almost got in the shit. You and your mates.
She may have found me. It's something I want.
Oh, fuck's sake, Jim.
Yes, he said it. He's gonna down a couple of drinks.
He's buying. Takes the next one.
It's gonna be an expensive night.
Yeah. I like it.
So what do you want me to do?
Just if you can, make sure she's safe if possible.
Right, not to be so much of a unsympathetic ass, although I'm owed that. What the fuck's in it for me?
What do you want?
I want you to pay a visit to someone for me
Alright,
that I can't.
what do you need?
I ain't fucking saying it here.
Yeah. I know a place where we can talk a little more privately.
Keep them coming. Pause it into the other one. Right, you got a picture?
Yeah, the picture we got.
I'll look. I ain't promising anything else.
That's all I ask. Thank you.
Right, when did you see her last? How do you find out that she's looking for you?
About 4 or 5 days ago.
Okay, where?
We crossed hands. She came with another woman, a little bit taller. That's all I can tell.
What? And you know this because what?
We have a camera.
Right, you got the footage?
I have the footage on there. I can get it.
Get me the footage then, and I'll do what I can. And then, once I've done this, we'll be talking again. Well, I'm going to run up a tab. You staying at the crossed hands.
Yeah.
Right, go get the footage. I'll see you back here whenever the fuck you get back. Just know that the longer you take, the bigger that tab's going to be.
Right.
To clarify, it's his tab.
And I get up and go.
True to his word.
Down's another one.
What a triumph.
Check the phone.
Okay. And you start making your way back to the crossed hands as you see this message. Where are you guys waiting for him?
We're in the basement.
We are currently in the
Bye.
basement.
Okay. So, are you heading to the basement? For your flats meeting?
On my way.
Doesn't take him too long to get back. 3-legged cat's not too far. And you hear the telltale sounds of Jim descending the stairway back into the basement. I'm assuming you did heal your face before you went out, right?
No.
Okay.
Didn't heal the face?
Still bearing the telltale marks of quite a fucked up face. Got to make a note.
Oh,
See? No knocking.
what? Are you all right, Jim?
Do I look alright?
Well, no. That's rather why I asked, actually. Sorry, that might have been. It just came out when I saw your. Has something happened?
Did he close the door behind him?
Of course, I closed the door behind me.
Nice.
The door won't close.
I mean, is the normal like door like latch?
It's only the lock. I think it's
Just the
broken.
lock's broken.
Yeah, it's broken.
Well, we were just discussing, living arrangements, I suppose, and
God.
boundaries, I suppose. Yes. And you know how important it is for everyone's peace of mind that we respect each other's property,
or faces,
windows, doors, that sort of thing.
As he says face, I just point to mine.
Yeah, I mean, I tend to attack people who trespass into my territory. I rarely trespass in other people's territory and then assault them.
Maybe Katia could manage this a little bit. Oh, good. Thank you, Katia.
First things first, I'd like to make something clear. I am not acting as this strange surrogate house mother you seem to be treating like. I'm going to tell you, I cannot stand men who treat women like they're fucking mothers. I shouldn't have to make peace between you all the fucking time. Did no one teach you I'm speaking to all of you here. I mean, perhaps some deserve it more than others. Did no one teach you subtlety, self-control, or communication skills? Or even perhaps a little bit of emotional intelligence along the line?
Yes.
Good, I'm glad to hear it.
To all of those.
Right.
Why am I getting a bollocking when I have done nothing wrong?
I'm not directing this bollocking at anyone in particular. Now, from here on out, cards are on the table. Okay? We don't withhold information that puts each other in danger. Alright? We're going to be open about if we need things for each other. We don't go behind each other's backs and break into each other's rooms. That ends now. Now. Jim, please tell all of us the significance of those two people.
One of them was my sister.
There you go. There is some context.
So?
What do you want to do about this?
Excuse me, how that girl being his sister excuses any of this?
Oh, it doesn't excuse anything. I want to understand what he hopes to achieve and how he thought breaking into your room would help with that. Because, frankly, we can be a lot more productive if we just ask each other.
Yeah, that would have been nice.
Like I say, holding things back from each other leads to situations like this, and I point at both of your faces. You both look like fucking wrecks.
My apology. I did already apologise for that. And second, Moses, if it had been anyone else but you three, I would have continued to beat you into torpor. I am sorry.
Oh, that is so comforting. That is
sorry.
I'm not supposed to be thankful for you sparing my life.
I'm sorry, Moses.
Why is that woman important? I know she's your sister, but she's looking for you. Call her back.
She's supposed to think I'm fucking dead.
Huh. Yes?
There's a gentleman up here to see you.
See me, Mrs. Moravsky?
Whoever's down there.
I am having a conversation with Katia and the guys. We're sorting some stuff.
It's a police officer, I think.
Okay.
Oh, it's a police officer. He's got a badge thing.
Okay, we'll be right up.
They'll be right up.
Goes off.
Why is there a police officer?
I'm not going like.
Oh, for goodness sake!
I don't want to leave these two in a room alone together, quite honestly.
I suppose I'll talk to them, shall I? Right, I will blush of life. These motherfuckers making me hungry. Yeah, I'm going hunger too.
Hunger.
Fucking. I was
just
doing
trying to
so
get it back
well.
in a row, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Get the numbers to match. All right, so I'll go upstairs.
Okay. You go upstairs and then turn the corner, and Mrs. Moravsky's back at the counter, and she's busy speaking with two individuals. One looks like he's in his late 30s, early 40s.
Yeah.
And he's wearing a jacket, close cut hair, and he's speaking with Mrs. Moravsky. And there's a young man next to him, looks like he's in his teens, and he's pointing to something in front of Mrs. Moravsky, which looks to be a sheet of paper that she's looking at. And then she glances around at you, and then gestures for you to come closer. And as you approach, you see what looks to be
it's an A4 sheet of paper that someone's done with an image of a young girl on it, with the name, with underneath scrawled missing, and then underneath that it says Catherine Whitman, and then a contact number and information. And as you make your approach, the young man that's holding the paper just turns and looks over at you, and then the older individual turns around and flips open a warrant card, which just shows that he's a law enforcement officer.
Oh, hello, officer. I'm a little confused. Is something going on?
Yeah, we're just asking some information with regards to the young lady on this piece, and he shows you.
No, I don't even know her name, who she is. I know shit all, do I? So I will look at this picture and say,
perfect.
I'm sorry, I have no idea who that is. I'm terribly sorry.
Young lady went missing in the area recently. She was last seen attending a metal band concert in the local area.
Oh, I'm very sorry to hear that. I'm afraid I don't really attend that sort of music myself. Is there anything we can do to help?
If you just keep a copy of this to hand.
Of course, yes.
Make sure that it goes around and everybody has a look at it.
Yes, well, and we do have a number of people staying here, so it might be that someone.
Can I also have your contact information, please?
Oh yes, of course.
Take that pen.
My name's Benjamin Green, and I'll give him some.
Okay, makes it.
Briefly, I'm assuming neither of these officers look like they're into the art scene, but all check. No recognition, fine.
And the other individuals downstairs?
Oh,
beside the busted lock.
Well, I'm trying to remember what your current name you're going by is.
Don't ask him.
Okay. I'll say, well, I'm very happy to show them as well.
I have to insist that everybody sees this picture.
Of course. I'll make sure of it.
While I'm here.
Right, yes, I can do it right now if you want. Yes, shall I take this? I'll be right back. I'll go downstairs.
Okay. You can hear the footsteps behind you. He's basically walked up towards the door.
Is he following me?
He's not following you down, but
he's just following me to the thing.
Yeah, they don't actually have a right to come into the room.
So I'll go into the door and I'll say relatively loudly, so the police are looking for a missing woman. Apparently, I haven't seen her, but it's very important that everyone looks. And you know, if you know anything, you have to go and tell the police immediately. It's very important.
Oh, should we make a photocopy?
Yeah. No. Well, I think yes, that's a good idea. Then we can show the other residents.
Is that all right if we do that? Let's call up.
I'll say, is it okay if we make a copy so we can show the other residents of the picture?
We have copies if you'd like to hand some out.
Oh, perfect. Yeah. Yes, no, we'll do that.
Who's coming back up?
Hang on, I'll say, so I haven't seen them, but if any of you have, you have to tell the police, and I will I don't know, I will show them the picture.
Moses, you recognise it?
Yeah.
So do you.
Mm-hmm.
Does anyone give away that they obviously know who this person is in their reaction?
I try not to give away.
Okay. You do wits plus insight. Or no, it'll be wits plus insight because you're doing it quickly under duress. And the other ones will say composure.
Taken by the surprise.
Composure plus subterfuge.
Oh shit.
Ugh, my composure.
Have all three of you? Oh, you all seen it?
Yeah, they all know who she is.
Well, I got 2 successes.
I got 2 successes as well.
I got 7.
You got 3.
Wow. Fucking
critical success.
You suddenly, whether it's the dent in your face or whatever, you've just gone.
Crit win, 7 successes.
However, there is a lapse in expression, a lapse in composure in Jim's face. The moment he sees it, his eyes linger just a little too long and his lip twitches.
Oh. God. I'll pause. Okay, so Benjamin is not hiding this at all. He'll look at you like, oh, good, and then he'll look back to Jim like a.
I'm clear the police officer is in this room.
That's so nice.
I'll pause and say, so, nobody then?
No, but we can distribute it around the rest of the building.
Yes, well, I'll go and yes, I'll get Mrs. Morovsky to make sure everyone does that now. I'll do that now. Right. I'll go upstairs. Well, I will give a sort of I'll give a kind of a look to Katia, and then I will head upstairs, I suppose.
Okay.
And I will. I'll go back up. I'll say to the officer, "Do you want me to go to the other people who are staying there's doors now, and knock and take this round, or take copies, or are you happy for me?
We're happy to leave some here.
All right.
Do intelligence plus awareness for me.
Intelligence plus awareness.
Something I forgot to ask you to roll a moment ago.
Actually, hang on. Yeah. 2.
Okay. You would have picked up as well when he flashed you the warrant card. The name on it is Richard Whitman.
Should that mean anything to me?
The girl that's
Catherine Whitman
is the one that's missing.
is the one that's missing.
Oh. Right.
Why is it the guy?
So he's leaning against the door, not like leaning and looking in, but against it. The moment you come back up, he takes the page back off you.
Yeah.
I've left some with Mrs. Morovsky. I've got your contact details, and we will be back in touch.
Oh, of course. Well, best of luck, officer.
Can't pull. And he turns and marches towards the door. Fuck's sake, that would have been interesting. Okay. And Paul kind of glances back over and then looks back towards the door, and his expression kind of almost as though he's trying to recognise something. And then he just turns and just walks off after him. And the door shut, and Mrs. Morovsky goes,
Well, bugger me. I better hand these out then.
and that is where we're going to leave it tonight.
I barely even started roasting you.
Oh, you got more time next session.
Next session will be the roasting session.
So, thank you very much, guys, for joining us. Apologies again for the delay between them, but I should be back now. So thank you very much, guys.
We got one more shout out.
Oh, one more shout out.
Missing Reason. The gifted soul.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, gifted.
And to everybody else as well. Thank you very much, guys, for joining us. And we will see you next Monday at 7 o'clock. Share, and we'll speak to you later. Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.